What's up, Mets fans, and welcome back to Talking Mets and World. How is everybody doing today on this Wednesday afternoon day game, Mets versus Nationals? And how about our New York Mets guys? Not only are they in first place in the NL East, but they are 10.5 games ahead of everybody, or at least the Braves, in the NL East. And it goes even further to 11.5 games, 12.5 games, 15.5 games, 16.5 games. Everybody in the NL East is at the very least 10.5 games behind us, among other more games behind us, 13, 14, 15, whatever you want to call it. The New York Mets have been playing the game of baseball very freaking well, and that's exactly what we wanted. This is exactly what Met fans have been looking for. And yes, you could say, hey, Rob, last year around this time, we were around 5 games up in first place, but you could see the difference in this team. You can just look at the overall team stats. You can look at the run differential, where at this time last year, we were around +9 in the run differential. Now we're at +75 in 2022 on June 1st. That's a huge difference in why this team is so much better than last year. And everybody can talk about the West Coast trip. Even if the Mets have a bad West Coast trip, and let's be honest, guys, why is it okay for everybody other than the Mets to say, oh, here comes the West Coast trip, the vaunted West Coast trip in June. You got the Dodgers, you got the Padres, all of that. You got the Angels, you got all of that. But yet, why does nobody talk about the Dodgers or the Padres, who, let's be honest, guys, has choked just as much as the Mets over the last couple of years, if not worse than the Mets? And the Angels, who hasn't had a winning season in, 10 years? But yet everybody wants to go and destroy the Mets and say, oh, here comes the West Coast trip. It's going to be a problem. Here's the thing, guys. Why wouldn't the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Angels be scared of us? Because what all those teams have in common, not most necessarily the Angels, but their pitching is still a little bit iffy. If you looked at that Yankees game yesterday against the Angels and what Syndergaard did, I mean, he couldn't even get out of the second inning. That's how bad he was. So the Mets, even though their pitching is in shambles, the New York Mets offense is picking them up. And as much as even myself think that they still need a big bat, a power bat, I would not be surprised, guys, if the Mets still do that later in June into July, probably mid-July when that's going to happen. So let's not focus on the West Coast trip and how terrible it can be for the Mets. Why can it not be those teams are going to be looking at us and be like, wow, that's going to be a tough series? Because I can assure you, last year, West Coast teams weren't saying that. The year before that, the year before that, and the year before that, they weren't saying, uh-oh, here come the Mets. This year, they're saying that because the Mets can beat you all of a sudden with the home run ball. The Mets can beat you with small ball. The Mets can beat you with speed. The Mets can beat you with their defense. And guess what? The Mets, even though they're missing Scherzer, even though they're missing McGill, even though they missed DeGrom the whole season, have still been pitching pretty damn well. If they have not had their stuff that day, they have kept this team in the game. And we know something about the 2022 Mets. They will always fight until the 27th out. And that's important to look at as well. I was at the game on Monday. As soon as the Mets went down 3-0 in the first, everybody looked up. We're coming back because we all knew this team was going to fight back. Were we going to win the game? Who knows? Because David Peterson didn't have it on Monday. But at the end of the day, we knew the Mets were going to score runs. We knew they were going to do everything they can to come back. Yes, they might fell short every now and then, but they still found ways to score runs and get close back into the game. Even when even the Giant game, when the last game of the series, Zapucki was terrible. We always thought the Mets were going to come back. And even though they had base runners, they couldn't get the runners in. They still fought back. And that's the biggest thing that we have to look at, even when it comes to facing the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Angels. Don't be shocked for a second that these teams in the West Coast, and that's including the Dodgers, are like, this is going to be a tough series. This is not going to be a cakewalk. And let's be honest, if the Pirates can beat the Dodgers, if the damn Phillies can beat the Dodgers, you damn sure the New York Mets can beat the Dodgers, they can beat the Padres, and they damn sure can beat the Angels. But let's be honest, guys, the Mets don't have to go 8-2 on this 10-game road trip. If they go 5-5, that's a win on the West Coast trip. Because if we go 5-5, there's a pretty good chance that we might lose maybe 1 or 2 games in the standings based on what the Braves and the Phillies do. So even if the Mets go 4-6, are they really losing that much ground? I mean, are the Braves going to go win 12 in a row, or the Phillies going to win 12 in a row? That's the only way they're going to get even near us in the division if the Mets have a 1-9 road trip. Is it possible? Of course. But at the end of the day, if the Mets can go 5-5, 4-6, I'll even say 3-7. That means the Braves or the Phillies have to go win 9 of 10, 10 of 12 to at least gain 4 or 5 games on us, if more. So unless you think the Phillies and the Braves might do that, I still don't think, even with Bassett still on the mound, even with Carrasco and Walker, who has pitched well, there's no guarantee that the Mets are going to lose 3, 4, 5 in a row on the West Coast trip. Like I said, if they go 4-6, 5-5, that's a win in my book. You know, do I expect to win the series against the Dodgers? You're damn right, because guess what? As much as everybody has been talking about the Dodgers, it still seems like the Mets are not getting no respect around the league. If you're listening to, now I'm a big person of listening to other sports talk radios around the country. LA is not big on sports talk, but if you look around the area, you listen to Seattle sports talk, you listen to anywhere, other parts in California sports talk, even other parts of the country, Colorado, Philly, Florida, Atlanta. There is national broadcast. I'm not talking about local broadcasts. I'm talking about national broadcasts that are throughout the country, that are broadcasted from different states. That's all you hear about is the Dodgers. Everybody was talking about the Angels, and here comes the hard games for the Yankees. And guess what? And you even hear about the Padres. You don't hear so much about the New York Mets. All you hear is that, they don't got a lot of home run hitters. They need pitching. They need this. They need that. Well, sure, of course they do. But that doesn't mean that this Mets team isn't good enough to beat teams on the West Coast trip. And the Mets have played well on the road. If everybody hasn't paid attention, the Mets have played very well on the road. And can we give a little bit of credit to the Mets? They've lost 2 series this year. Only 2. That was to the Mariners and the Giants. That's it. It is what it is, guys. The West Coast trip in years past, I was always worried about it. Don't get me wrong. Things can go sour in this West Coast trip. Guaranteed. There's a possibility. There's a possibility that the Mets can go 9-1. There's a possibility the Mets can go 1-9. But the whole point of this is, do you really expect this team? Because if the Mets go 2-8, say, in this 10-game trip, that means they have to lose 4, 5, 6 games in a row. Is it really possible? Of course. But the Mets haven't had more than a 3-game losing streak this year. That's not only, and let's be honest, their pitching hasn't. Remember, Scherzer has been out for 2.5 weeks already, right? We've had Bassett, we had Carrasco, we have Walker. We have 3 guys that can shut down any lineup because they're good. They know how to pitch. It is what it is, guys. But if the Mets can go 4-6, 5-5, I will take that on the West Coast trip, especially against teams that are either first or second in their respective divisions. I will take that. So once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. We are going to be here for Game 3 of the series against the MetsvsNationals. The Mets are going to, I was going to say the Rangers. The Mets are going to have a chance of sweeping the series against the Nationals. sweeping the homestand, the 6-game homestand for the New York Mets, and that would be great considering the Mets finally won a series and finally swept the series in the 2022 season. And it first started with the Philadelphia Phillies. We wiped them off the map, and now we're getting to the Nationals with Carlos Carrasco on the mound. So once again, guys, we got 48 live viewers right now for Mets Pregame Live. Hit on that like button. Again, I'm not expecting a huge crowd today. It's a Wednesday afternoon. It's weekday after a holiday. Everybody mostly back at the work. But if you are at work, if you're going to work right now, and if you listen to the stream, I appreciate it, guys. I hope everybody had a good Memorial Day and safe Memorial Day weekend and Memorial Day on Monday. So once again, guys, don't forget to hit on that like button. This is in subscriber mode today, so you have to subscribe to be in this stream. So I do appreciate everybody. Ruben, a member of Talking Mets and Rob, I seen in the chat really quickly. I'll try to find them really quick, but there's a lot of people chatting right now, so I will get to everybody. As always, guys, say what's up in the chat. Do not be shy. If you can, say what's up in the chat. Please do. You will get shout out on this channel. As always, let's see what the Mets can do. If the Mets can sweep this series against the Nationals and sweep the homestand, it is better than expected. Before the homestand, we talked about the New York Mets going 4-2 or 5-1 is what is at a minimum that we wanted for this homestand. 4-2 as a minimum. 5-1 would be great. Obviously, 6-0 would be excellent. The Mets are guaranteed to come out of this 5-1 in this homestand. Either way, it's a great homestand going on to the West Coast trip. You know, we can possibly, we're 17 games over 500. Can we get to 35 wins? Absolutely. And guess what? If we go to 5-5, guys, if we win today, we go 35-17 on the West Coast trip, and we go 5-5, we have our 40 wins. We would be 40-22, which still gives us 18 games over 500. And there's even 5-5. How many games can the Braves and Phillies gain on us? Maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe. And that's if they win. And they haven't shown that as of yet. You know, the Mets, if this team has surprised us over and over and over again. When everybody thought the Mets are going on their first West Coast trip to the Rockies and the Giants, we're like, oh, here we go. We're starting it. This is going to be a problem. We're going to lose 2 out of 3 against the Rockies. We're going to probably get swept by the Giants. And every game we were in, every game we had a chance, at least with runners on, to score runs. Even if we didn't win that game, we always had opportunities to get runs in. And that's the difference with this team. And would anybody be shocked if this team goes 6-4 or 7-3 on the West Coast trip? No. Because even though the Dodgers on paper are the best team in baseball, honestly, they've played a lot of lackluster games where their offense didn't show up for a series or their pitching didn't show up for a series. So they're not invincible. And I think too many people think that the Dodgers are just murderers row and they're just winning 100. They're going 162-0. Well, guess what, guys? They can struggle as well. You know, the same thing when it came with the Phillies, right? Everybody thought this homestand was going to be like, all right, the Phillies are going to start creeping back up in this division. They're going to pound us. What did the Mets do right away? They put a nail in that first nail in the coffin in game 1. Game 2, put the second nail. Game 3, everybody's like, oh, we're going to take 2 out of 3. Good, but we're going to lose after the Castellanos home run. They came back with a Nick Plummer tying home run and an Escobar game-winning hit. Put the nail in the coffin. That's what the Mets did in the Phillies. Why can't the Mets put doubt in the Dodgers' mind? Like, oh, damn, this team is really good. Yes, we heard about them. Yes, people talk about them. But until you see that this every at-bat is a struggle for the pitcher against this Mets team. This Mets team has one of the lowest strikeouts amongst the team in the major leagues. I believe I checked the other day. It was like 3 or 4 days ago. They were ranked 3rd or 4th in Major League Baseball in strikeouts. That's how low their strikeouts have. Last year was different. When there was runners on, they had runners in scoring position, a runner on third with less than 2 outs. They would strike out. This team puts the ball in play. That puts pressure on the Dodger defense. That puts pressure on the Padres defense. And that will put pressure on the Angels defense. So The Dodgers have strikeout pitchers. But you know what? The Mets has faced a lot of strikeout pitchers and still found a way to get their pitch count up and not strike out as much. It's a big difference with this Mets team when people say, oh, same old Mets. Here comes the June swoon. Here comes the West Coast trip. It's a different team. All right, guys, so we're going to get started. We've got about 15 minutes until game time. Going to say what's up to everybody in the chat right now. Once again, guys, don't be shy and say what's up in the chat. And don't forget to hit on that like button, everybody. All right, guys, so here we go. We got Michael, Andrew, Robert, MB. We got Homeland. We got Put It in the Chat Open Mike, Anthony M. We got Adventures Florida. We have Inebriated. We got Anthony. We got Ella, Rocky, Ruben, a member of Talking Mets at Rob, Jimmy, Ilmerica. We got, who else we got here? Who else we got? Joe. We got RM. We got Frank. And that's everybody who's in the chat. That's about 15 people. So the other 47 of you are just hanging out, and that's okay. Ruben, yes, I just saw a new member of Talking Mets at Rob. So shout out to Ruben, guys. I did see it pop on the screen, but it knocked me off. Because you did it yesterday, I didn't do a live stream. It didn't notify me, so I did get the notification. I didn't notice the name, so that's why right away I was like, you got to be a new member, and I do appreciate that, Ruben. So shout out to Ruben, another member of Talking Mets and Rob. We are growing slowly but swiftly, ladies and gentlemen. That's one thing for sure that I appreciate you guys. During the lockout, that's when baseball fans and Met fans have found the channel, because nobody was really going live for baseball channels during the lockout. Everybody was just, doing a video here and there about a little bit updates here and there. What would the Mets do? What would baseball do? Other teams and stuff like that. I was the only one that was going live, along with, I believe, Ball Cap Sports that was going live. I think after the meetings during the lockout. So I was the only one, and him, that were trying to give updates to everybody that might have been working, that might have not been knowing what's going on, whatever. And I mean, it wasn't, 2-hour streams. These were 7, 8, 9-hour streams during the lockout to give up to the date updates on the lockout. So I do appreciate everybody tuning in, and hopefully you continue to enjoy this channel. Again, I try to change it up every now and then just to keep it a little more interesting. And what I've been getting comments. People have been emailing the channel, just saying that, hey, I like your the way you do your live stream. Nobody does it the way I do it. Some people just show their face and do, if you want to call it, play-by-play of the Mets game with the score on the bottom. Again, I know I'm not great play-by-play guy, and I knew that to be different and to be a different channel, you have to change things up than what everybody else does. Because why subscribe? Why continue to tune in, right? So if I do it the same way everybody else does it, it's going to be the same Mets channel like everybody else, or the same baseball channel like everybody else. So I experimented and was like, all right, let's throw up game day, what I did a little bit later in the season last year. People liked it. It was pretty cool with my instant reactions while game day was up. That was cool. But still, it still wasn't the vibe of the game. Yes, you had my interesting reactions. Yes, you had game day up so you can follow the game if you're watching. And you heard my voice listening to what was going on during the game. But then I was thinking, well, what about the people who are working, or the people who are driving that might want to tune into the stream, but they just don't want to hear, they want to know what's going on in the game. Say if you're not in New York, in the New York tri-state, and you can't get the radio call, and all you can do is watch MLB.TV, but you're driving. So I was like, you know what? What about the radio or TV call with game day, with my instant reactions, with my picture up in the small screen? It gives, it takes care of every aspect of what some people want, or most people want. So I was like, wow, it's good. As long as the sound came in clearly, it was going to work. And there was no copyright issues, so it was great. So I go, what's up, guys? Guess what? We're going to do it this way. We're going to have my instant reactions, game day, and the TV call or radio call, depending on what's actually better at that moment, which I've been working with the TV call at much later. So guess what? It worked out. People liked it, and people start tuning in more and more. Since the season started, I have over 1,100 subscribers just based 900 or so was from just the live streams that people subscribed for just the first 2 months of the season. The other 200 was just checking out the channel. Might have found it from somebody else by sharing, which I know a lot of you guys retweet or like on Twitter the stream, or vice versa on Instagram or Facebook. People start sharing it, and that's how I got other subscribers as well. So I really do appreciate it, guys. And we got about 10 minutes until game time. So I am going to go really quickly through. And once again, Ruben, shout out to Ruben for being a new member. I really do appreciate it. And I will be doing a member Q&A live stream probably sometime during the West Coast trip. And as you guys know, I do work overnight. So I'm not going to do it probably maybe one West Coast, maybe two West Coast games. Probably the travel day games where it's a little bit earlier in the day. Because I work overnight, it's hard to do a live stream when a game in New York starts at 10 o'clock. So unfortunately, there's not going to be a lot of live stream during the West Coast trip. But we will. I will keep you guys updated on every time I will be going live for a game. Roberto is here as well, member of Talking Mets and Rob. Alrighty, guys, and I do appreciate everybody saying about the stream. I really do appreciate it. So what we're gonna do first, guys, we're gonna put the lineups up and the pitching matchup so everybody can see. Let me just get rid of this. All right, guys. So the lineup is in the bottom of your screen along with your pitching matchup. But as always, guys, I'm going to share my screen so everybody can see. So with the New York Mets lineup today, Brandon Nimmo is back in the lineup playing center field, leading off. Starlin Marte batting second, playing right field. Francisco Lindor playing shortstop, batting third. Pete Alonso cleaning up, batting first. Mark Canha batting fifth, playing left field. J.D. Davis getting another start at DH, playing sixth. Eduardo Escobar, finally, he got a nice home run last night, batting seventh, playing third base. Luis Guillorme seems like he's playing every day now, batting eighth, playing second base. And Tomas Nido batting ninth and catching. And if you haven't noticed, guys, before I get into the Nationals lineup, Dominic Smith did get optioned down to AAA. It kind of made sense because the Mets would have a lefty in Nick Plummer, who has actually, let's be honest, got the opportunity and performed. And that's the reason why Dominic Smith is in the minors, because Plummer has been hitting. He's another lefty. That's why Dominic Smith got optioned down. He can play every day in AAA and get his bat figured out and then come up probably right after the West Coast trip. And the reason why J.D. Davis is still on this team is because, let's be honest, J.D. Davis is still hitting the ball hard. And on top of that, he's the right-handed bat that you could use in a DH spot or a pitch-in spot every now and then. Nick Plummer basically knocked Dominic Smith off the roster. I mean, if Plummer wasn't performing, he would have went back down instead of Dominic Smith. But because Plummer has been playing well, offensively at least, Dominic Smith was the odd man out. So for the Washington Nationals, we got Cesar Hernandez batting first, playing second base. Juan Soto, right field, batting second. Nelson Cruz, DH, and batting third. Josh Bell playing first, batting cleanup. Yadiel Hernandez batting fifth, playing left field. Maikel Franco, third base, batting sixth. Garcia, shortstop, batting seventh. Adams catching, batting eighth, and D. Strange Gordon batting ninth, playing center field. So that is your lineup for the New York Mets and the Washington Nationals here on Talking Mets and Rob. Game 3, series sweep if the Mets win today. Homestand sweep if the Mets win today. They will be they're on a 5-game winning streak, can be a 6-game winning streak going on to the West Coast trip. And again, even if the Mets lose today, it's still a 5-1 homestand, which a lot of people would sign on the dotted lines for going into the West Coast trip. But the Mets have the opportunity to get 6 in a row today, sweep the homestand, going on to the West Coast trip against the Dodgers, Padres, and Angels. So, can the Mets find a way to increase their lead in the NL East over the next 2 weeks? Absolutely. I mean, is it possible that the Braves, the Phillies, go on an 8-9 game winning streak? Of course. Any team can do it. But I don't think they will. Will they win a couple of games in a row? Sure. Can they catch up a little bit in the division? Of course. But if the Mets stay course and do what they have to do. I don't see any reason why the Mets can't go 4-6 and 5-5, which basically guarantees them coming back with a 8 to 10 game lead in the NL East. That's the way I see it, because I don't think the Braves and the Phillies are going to get so hot. I mean, the Braves can't beat the Diamondbacks. The Phillies can't have basically no chance against the Giants, it seems. So the Mets just continue to play their game, and I think they'll be fine. All right, so let's check out the comments really quick. We got about 10 minutes until game time, so let me just check what everybody's saying. Michael says, big fella. Mets Inside News, he's basically showing up the channel and saying, this is what I do, so I do. So thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Andrew, that's okay. Everybody gets busy. I appreciate you typing in the chat. Robert says LFGM. MB says, let's get another steep and stay hot for that very hard road trip. I am going to LA. Hopefully you enjoy it. Homeland says LFGM. Put it in the chat. Open Mike says, let's go Mets. What's up, folks? Anthony says, good to see you, Rob. Thank you. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Michael, best team in the league. I tend to agree with you. I think the Mets can beat you in many ways, and that's why I like this team a lot. Adventures, even if you think the West Coast trip is the end, the Mets can go 0-10 and still probably have a 5-game lead coming back home. So, you know, nobody's going to bury the Mets. The Mets will still be in first place after the 10-game road trip. So, I don't think that's going to happen, but even if it does, the Braves and the Phillies have to win 9-10 games in a row to catch up the 10.5 game lead that we have on the Braves. So put it in the chat, but Mike, the membership information, you can just click the join button. You can see all the information that's underneath the screen. And if you're I think Apple is the if you have a Android phone, the join button is on your phone underneath the screen. If you're on a laptop or a tablet, it's the join button underneath the screen. And also, if you have an Apple product, they don't have that join button over here. So you just have to click that $sign that's near the chat. And it goes to join membership join, and you can click on that as well. We need to let's bring out those greens. So yeah, Luis Guillaume is working like an also. He continues to play like this. He will be. Oh yeah, you know what? I mean, yes, we're facing a minor league pitcher basically, but at the end of the day, anybody can beat anybody. But the Mets have been scoring runs, and I don't see any reason why they won't score more. So, Anthony, that's true. Early on in the season, the Mets were struggling early on in games, and then when it came to the fifth, sixth, seventh inning, that's when they started scoring their runs. But now they just score runs early in games and late in games, and that kills you. The opponent for sure. Rocky, it is about time we have a winning team, but you know what? Just because we're a winning team now, 2 months in doesn't mean we will be 5 months in. Let's hope we are. We're on pace to, I think, to win 111 games. If I'm not mistaken, I think that might have changed a little bit, but I think I checked it like 2 days ago. We're on pace to win 111 games. I don't think that's going to happen. Again, I think we're probably in the high 90s at this point if we continue to play the way we are. And just think of it, guys. We're still winning without basically a healthy pitching staff. So it's awesome. And yes, today is the 10th anniversary of Johan's no-hitter. So yes, unfortunately I wasn't at that game. I was actually home with my girlfriend at the time. I was watching the game while she was sleeping. I was trying to stay quiet, but that didn't really work out too well. But yes. Ruben, I agree. If you go 5-5, I'll be happy. Ella, 4-6, 5-5, I'll be happy with as well. Jimmy, that's cool, man. Just have a good day and stay safe. Il America, exactly. We're in first place. I don't know, Jimmy. Honestly, I don't know with Dominic Smith right now. It is at this point. I just hope that he's gonna get play every day now. So let's hope that he gets his swing together. I don't know if it's mental. I don't know if it's just the way if he's thinking too much at the plate. I don't know what it is. But look, Dom's got to get his act together. You know what? You got to end up being a professional at this point. You haven't been performing. You don't play every day. That's just how it is. You got guys behind you that are on the bench that come up and do a good job. They're going to take your spot. Nick Plummer took Dominic Smith's spot. So at this point, Dominic Smith's got to, realize that you're still a part of this team, even though he probably thinks in his mind that he is going to be traded at the trade deadline. He still needs to do his job. You're a professional. You get paid to play baseball for a certain team. Because you know what? The Mets are going to send him. Is he going to be happy playing every day and being on a 100-loss team? Because that's where he's probably going to go. He's probably going to go to a team that's nowhere near the playoffs when he gets traded. Does he want to be that? Or does he want to be on the team that is going for the division and going into the playoffs? Or do you want to be on a 90-loss team just because you're playing every day, you're happy? Well, if Dom wants that, well, you're going to find the door very quickly. So he got to get his act together, in my opinion. Yeah, Robert Rubin, you know what it is? People think, people don't like the Mets. It's just that simple. You know what? We're a likable team. People hate that. You know what I'm saying? Just like the evil empire of the Yankees all those years. People hated that aspect. People are hating the Mets just like they're starting to hate the Yankees. The Mets have to prove it a lot like the Yankees have over the years. But the Mets are starting to be the team that's hated because of their owners, because of the team winning, because of the New York fan base that everybody does not like, no matter if you're Yankee fan or Mets fan. So it is what it is. I'll take the haters every day of the week because guess what? The same haters that are talking about the Mets now were the same haters in 2016 when the Mets won the World Series that were walking around with Mets. So they can shut their mouth, in my opinion. I don't know. I just hope Dom gets it together because not only it's going to save his career, it's going to save his Mets career for at least a few more months. Anthony Mets will not roll over and die. I agree with that. Go under lockout 100%. I don't think I'm going to get paid by let's see. Sprinkle's amazing Mets. Michael says, my guy. Oh, America says, hit that like button, people. Let's go. Victor, what's up, Captain? I appreciate it. Let's see if I can get. We got about 2 minutes until about 3 minutes until game time. So let me just. Il America, I work at Costco. I'm a forklift driver overnight. So, I do the heavy lifting. Well, not lifting really, technically, but I do the heavy labor. When the store is closed. So unfortunately, the West Coast trip kind of messes me up because I can't listen. I'd love to do live streams against the Dodgers. I mean, you know how many people will be in this stream? I mean, you'll get Dodger fans and Met fans going at it the whole stream. I'm hoping to do one. It might be I think. Let me just check really quick before the game starts. Let's see. Just give me a second, guys. Yeah, so June 5th is a Sunday. It's a 4:10 game. I will do that game, which is against the Dodgers, the last game of the series. The 10 o'clock to June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is 10 o'clock. I'll be at work, so I can't do it. But I'll definitely do the 4 o'clock game for sure. All right, so I heard there's some guys that can't hear me. I hope you guys can now. Let's see. Yeah, the audio is being a little annoying today. I'm sorry about that. My microphone kind of crapped out, so I have to use my MacBook microphone, which is probably not great. Raphael, thank you so much. All right, so I think I'm a little bit okay. So it's a little bit okay. It's good. Yeah, it's gonna go in and out, guys. Obviously, laptop microphones aren't great. I kind of destroyed my microphone that I usually have here and the one that I usually use. So it's going to be a little bit. I broke it today, actually. I kind of roll over it with my computer chair and it kind of destroyed it. So it is what it is. Maybe it's some people that don't hear me well and some others do. Because some people said it's fine now. Hopefully it's fine now. I hope so. Hopefully we're going to check the game stream while it's going on, so I make sure you guys can hear it. Again, Robert, it's 10 o'clock games, which is hard for me because of work. Again, I could probably do all the. Let me see. See, Padres are 9:40. Yeah, see, it's kind of yeah, I probably will do that Dodger last game of the series at 4 o'clock. The Padres series, I'm working at that time. The Angels series, the same thing. Maybe the other Sunday, June 12th, but I'll probably do pre-games before the game and talk about it since I can't do the live stream during the game. So, all right, guys. So Mets versus Nationals, game 3 of the Mets versus Nationals. Mets are going for the sweep of the series and sweep of the homestand and get their 6-game winning streak continuing going into the West Coast trip. So once again, guys, don't forget to please hit on that like button. Let's get the stream out to more baseball fans, more Mets fans for the Mets versus Nationals. The umpires are walking on the field and ready to get the lineup cards from both managers. Davey Martinez and Buck Showalter obviously walking to home plate to give the lineup cards to the umpire to get the game ready to go. So as soon as the game gets started, we will put the volume up and we will hopefully get a good sound going without my professional mic that kind of got destroyed during the process. So what can you do, right, guys? That's what happens when it's live. Anything can happen. Oh yeah, Ruben, that's awesome. Oh, I'm in Queens, New York, in Rego Park, where I work. So that's cool that he works in Cranberry, New Jersey. So he must get the trucks earlier than I do, because obviously the warehouses are the big depots where we get all the product from is in Jersey. So what is it? Cranberry is more on the western Jersey, right? Or northern Jersey, southern Jersey. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not perfect on Jersey geographical maps. America got the brooms out. I love it. Let's see. Let me just change this over so it looks more appealing for everybody. Alrighty, there we go. So game day is up now, guys. The game's gonna start any minute. So I'm gonna. Okay, RM Woodside. All right, yeah, it's about not too far. I work in Rego Park, but I live in Richmond Hill, so Woodside, Richmond Hill is not too far apart either. So yeah, that's true. Hey, how do you know it's beer, Robert? It's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon. No, honestly, it's just ginger ale in my canteen. I'm very busy after the stream today, so yeah. I got a lot of things to do. I had 3 days off in a row. So because of the holiday, I was off, and my normal days off from Monday and Tuesday. But when there's a holiday, Costco is closed, so I get an extra day off during the week, during the holiday week. So today's my second day off. So 3 days off in a row, can't complain. So, but unfortunately, I gotta go back to work tomorrow, which sucks. Or later tonight, I should say. Exit 8A off the turnpike. Okay. Yeah, Joe, exactly. The worst month of the year always seems to be June, and that's why the June swoon is basically so big through national news and just the Mets fans in general. But you know what? Just because if the Mets have a bad June, that doesn't mean they're gonna fall out of first place and not still have a big lead. It all depends on what the other teams do in their division as well. All right, guys. So here we go. Game 3 of the Mets versus Nationals series. Mets going for the series sweep and the homestand sweep. Here we go, guys. Let me know if you guys can hear it clearly. That's the most important.
It's a Steve Kaufman editing miracle. Wow. That was nice music, nice partying music. There's been a party this homestand. Well, you got that right. I like this angle. Watching from the top of the hill. And Carlos Carrasco throws to the top of the hill. Monday starting lineup for the Nats. Alcides Escobar hurt his hamstring last night. He went on the IL. 22-year-old Luis Garcia is up for his season debut. He's going to play shortstop every day, says Dave Martinez, until Alcides Escobar is ready to come back. Nelson Cruz sat yesterday after getting hit in the ankle on Monday. He's back in there today.
Are you ready to go viral?
Cookie Carrasco's Toyota numbers have been outstanding this year.
Let's go Rangers, Joe.
Almost every starter's been the same. Quality.
Let's go Rangers, Joe.
And 8 walks, started 36 punch-outs. Lindor, the Gold Glovers, the glove and the back. Limo! What lead up to the lineup, Brandon? Limo! Yeah. It's 4 games with the...
All right, guys. First pitch ready happening. Blind Beard, I'll absolutely do that lineup for you. No problem.
Hernandez leads off. Carrasco's first pitch. Hernandez takes a fastball for a strike. And we're underway. Cesar had his 10-game hitting streak stopped last night when he went 0 for 4, but he's still having a terrific year, tied for second in the National League in hits with 61. Although none of those have left the ballpark. He has more at-bats than any player in baseball this year, and he's not hit a home run. Balls must not be traveling. Of the 45
Let's get the sweep, guys. Let's get the sweep.
Bats in the majors this year, he's the only one who doesn't have a home run. Not that he's not capable of hitting home runs. He had 21 last year between the Indians and the White Sox, which was a career high. So he's gone from a career high to none at all.
Well, he looks like the player in his best years in Philadelphia to me. We're watching him now.
I don't believe Keith had the accent over the A on his uniform.
I don't think the accent's necessary.
Hernandez has told you that that's the emphatic syllable. And splitter the
Well, my room's in the other room today.
I've never seen the accent mark on the A. That might look nice in that uniform.
There's what your name looked like. No accent necessary.
But visualize the accent on that.
I mean, nobody ever really mispronounced your name, did they?
No, the one thing my mother hated, and it never was a few, Mike Shannon, in the beginning, I had to tell Mike, Hernandez.
Hernandez?
My mother couldn't stand that.
Never heard anybody say that.
So
I refused to say Gonzalez.
Gonzalez?
Yeah, but never Hernandez. 2-2 coming. And it's tapped into the ground on a slider from Carrasco, and it's 2-2. Juan Soto hitting second in the order after batting third in the first 2 games of the series. And then Nelson Cruz for the Nats, who are now 18-33 on the year. They hit the fewest home runs of any team in the National League.
Let's go Mets.
12th in the league in runs scored.
They've been beaten up these first 2 games.
Yeah, 23-5. That's a lot of beating.
It's you mentioned it last night, Gary. You know they're putting effort out there. This team, they're not just dialing it in, and they're just getting whipped in this series.
3-2 from Carrasco, and Hernandez
Yeah.
moves out swinging on the changeup. So Cookie's got a strike
Nice.
out to start the day.
Good start.
I mean, it really is a nasty pitch. Look at the split grip.
Nice split change. Look, started out right down the middle and just dropped
I tell you that pitch.
in the dirt. Excellent pitch by Carrasco.
Marginal
1 out.
pitchers-
Once again, guys, we got 100 people in the stream right now. Keep on hitting that like button if you haven't as of yet. We got 46 likes so far. We're looking to get to 150 today.
And it's coming back.
Scorecard, absolutely.
A little bit more now. Certainly Carrasco and Taiwan Walker have both had tremendous success with it. Juan Soto swings and misses to the first pitch fastball.
Yeah, you know, Joe, I haven't done it as of much lately.
Got him talking to himself.
He's been pulling off. Talking about Carpenter, the TV voice of the National.
But today I'm doing it.
He has his
his personality hasn't changed. But this is new territory for him, hitting 232. 2 months into the season.
Well, even with the slow start to this season, he is in some elite
But
company.
let's hope
23 years old and other 23-year-olds who
the Mets
put together this
get a win when I do a
start to their
scorecard.
careers. Well,
I never write the umpires in.
fastball for a strike, and it's 1-2 to Soto.
You got caught looking for something. You can start out thinking yourself, he's not getting a lot of fastballs. The Mets will shift over with 2 strikes. He's not getting a lot of fastballs, and you can't get caught up in that guessing game as a hitter.
He's done great against fastballs. It's the breaking stuff that has befuddled him this year. He takes a slider in the dirt, and it's 2-2.
Is it hard not to guess at times? For me, it always was in anticipation.
I'll take that,
of a
Joe.
breaking ball, okay, but still on the fastball. So an educated kind of feel. I was just kind of taught by my father that way, and it worked.
See how much Soto struggled against anything other than fastballs, and he rolls over on the changeup. And Alonso feeds
All right, 2 outs.
There's him pulling the ball again.
Yeah, Ken, you know what? They've done that since like day one when Soto was a National.
Well, if you're going to have
What can you do?
a huge season, you have to beat
Look,
on
we'll love
lesser
it if he's a
teams.
Met and they're
Mets
drooling
are
over
the
him. So
lesser team, and the Mets have beaten them 7 out of 9.
They've also beat up on the Phillies too, Gary.
I mean, look at the starters ERA for the Nats. That's been a huge piece of their season. They didn't expect to be competitive this year, but they expected to have better
well,
starting.
Familia always finds a way to make it challenging for his team. Yeah, I know, guys. For some reason, the mic not picking up the TV.
Brings the foot towards home plate quickly quick movement forward, and on the toes.
It's picking up my sound, but it's not picking up the TV sound,
Career home
unfortunately.
runs for now his 17. He'll turn 42 a month from today. And that's off the play for ball 4, so Cruz draws a 2-out walk. That is only the 9th walk given up by Carrasco this season, and this is his 9th start.
And he's a strike thrower.
He's averaged 1.4 walks per 9 innings, the best in baseball.
This is Davey Martinez.
Yeah, for some reason the laptop mic is not picking up the TV most times. I'm not sure why. It's kind of annoying, guys. Sorry about that. I kind of destroyed my mic.
In 2019, when they won everything. So just think how you feel about that kind of record and how far they came.
Well, I mean, you think about it. The last 2 World Series champions out of the National League East, what they did, and then what the Braves did last year, where they came from. Escobar throws out Josh Bell. That retires the side. That's come to bat on the bottom of the first with no score.
All right, guys. So the Mets got out of that inning. Just do 4 batters. Mets got out of that rather quickly. Carrasco did, so nice pitching by Carrasco. Once again, guys, the mic that I usually use, I kind of rolled over with my computer chair, and it kind of broke, and it wasn't picking up the signal, or it's just not working at all. So I have to go with my laptop mic until I buy. I already ordered it on Amazon, the same mic. So hopefully next time I won't run over it. So I know it's going in and out. Obviously, we all know about the laptop mics. They're not great. It picks up my voice because I'm right in front of it. Because the TV is about 8 feet away, it's kind of hard for it to pick it up every now and then. But I am doing my best. So this stream might be a little annoying. But I promise you I am trying it. I think, like I said, for some reason, the audio just doesn't pick up sometimes.
You know which pizza.
But once in a while, it might just crap out. But again, I don't notice when the audio is working or not unless I leave the audio settings on, which kind of blocks the chat. And that doesn't really work too well because I want to see what you guys type in. But once again, guys, we're going to the bottom of the first. MetsvsNationals tied at 0 because the Mets haven't come up yet. So we're in the bottom of the first. Nimmo is back in the lineup leading off. And the lineup for the Mets is Brendan Nimmo leading off, Starlin Marte, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, Mark Canha, J.D. Davis, Eduardo Escobar, Luis Guillorme, and Tomas Nido. So that is your lineup against the left-hander in Evan Lee. Let's see if the Mets can get to this Lee guy early and make it a nice, easygoing game for us Met fans. No, I don't have a Dom Smith shirt. I never had one. I never will. All right, guys, so here we go. Let's hope the radio call, the TV call actually can hear it, and it'll be nice.
Well, against a red-hot team that has scored 72 runs in the last 8 games, Brandon Nimmo leads off. And he takes a high strike, 0-1.
I don't know how long he's been here, but if he's here for the series, he's watched the Mets pound out 33 hits and 23 runs. I'll get you spooked.
Nimmo starts today 7th in the National League in on-base percentage. And he hits one in the air, deep to
this
right.
might be gone, guys.
Goes Soto onto the warning track.
Damn it.
Nimmo making an opening bid.
About 2 feet from the wall. Craig, that's awesome, buddy.
Just got under it enough.
Hoping that audio works through the TV, man.
It's come such a long way against left-handers, hitting 326 against lefties.
Well, can he breathe yet now that he's gotten it out?
Not till the inning's over. That's always the first inning. No breathing.
There's Starling Marte, who's just been crushing it. 2-run homer last
That would have been
night.
good. First game back after a couple of games out.
Homestand with a couple of home runs. A 93-mile-an-hour fastball from Lee outside. That's trying to sweep a 6-game homestand. They won all 3 against the Phillies, and the first 2 now against the Nats. And slider in for strike, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, the Mets have a chance to get to 500 against left-hand starters. They're 7-8 with that win last night over Corbin.
Yeah, 12 hits and 4 1/3 last night against Corbin. That up their average against lefties. Line right to Bell for the second out.
Ah,
And we'll take a look at the Chevrolet
Robert, yes, I got
defense.
3 Yankee fans in my family.
Luis Garcia in his start here. Called up. He's had some time. Last couple
The majority
years,
of them are Met fans,
they
though.
felt that he needed more work at shortstop.
But when you grow up in New York with your family, most of the time you might have 1 or 2 that kind of, stray to the evil side. So it happens. Let's see what Lindor can do right-handed.
You've forgotten more than I've ever known, so you're entitled to forget. Here's Lindor. He has to drive himself in if he's going to continue his RBI streak in this event. 9 straight games with a run batted in. It's time for the 3rd longest streak in Mets history. Only Mike Piazza has had longer streaks. 19 RBIs in those 9 games, and he's now 3rd in the league with 42. And just 1 out of 2nd in the league.
He had the 1 for 5 that you don't want to have, but it had 2 RBIs in it, and that kind of is like a little soothing salient there, whatever. Salve, like aloe vera? Yes.
I guess what you'd say, Keith, is that he's basically been on a red meat diet.
Yes.
Lots of Ribeye steak.
Yes, he's been drive. I called him Mr. Lena this morning in the clubhouse.
Curveball in the dirt. It's 3-2.
Seemed like the Mets are trying to get to the early in the count against Lee. He only got 10 pitches so far.
I just called him Senor Lena.
Senor. With an ABA. Up the middle and a base hit from Lindor.
All right, Frankie. First hit of the game by Lindor. He is hot, guys. Let's hope he continues that hot streak with hitting on the West Coast.
So much more comfortable in the orange and blue. Difficult year last year for Lindor, and now completely at home and showing what he can do.
Watch him cup the ball. That means really wrap it behind him. That was a very common technique for pitchers in the 70s and 80s. It's something that is not taught in today's game.
Well, quite a challenge for young Mr. Lee as he takes on Pete Alonso with a 2-out and a runner on.
Robert, I don't like Yankee Stadium. The way it's set up where you can't walk around the ballpark and see the field. City Field, you can. Yankee Stadium, you can't. Most ballparks, new ones, you can walk around the stadium and see the field somewhat. Yankee Stadium just feels like a concrete brick. Like you try to walk to another section, you can't see the field. Sucks. And that's not trying to be a Yankee hater. It's just I don't like the stadium.
Until the pitcher starts his motion. That's how he stays relaxed at the plate.
I've been to Tropicana Field. Obviously, it's not a new ballpark, but it's a shithole as well. But again, a new stadium shouldn't be so unappealing like Yankee Stadium. You know, Joe, I had a good experience with Yankee Stadium. It's not so Yankees concessions are not so bad. Maybe you just had a bad situation, but the food's not bad though. It's just I just don't like the vibe there. You know, I like to walk around the stadium before the game and just see everything. City Field, Yankee Stadium, you can't. I know the audio, guys, is not working with the TV. Trying to catch up again. Alonso just walked.
He was averaging 4.5 walks per 9 innings in Double-A. Walks his first batter in the opening inning. And Marcana, who had his second career 4-hit game last night, will get a chance with 2 men on.
And Canna has been using the opposite.
I haven't been to the Coliseum yet in Oakland. I'm going in September.
Down the right field line last night. They really broke the game open. And he has raised his average over 300, Gary. He's been on a roll.
Mets have scored multiple runs in the first inning in each of the last 3 games. Lee retired the first 2 in this inning. They're 10 for 20 in this series with runners in scoring position.
All right, see if we can get some 2-out runs here.
341 with runners in scoring position. Lindor at second, Alonso at first with 2 out. And Canna takes the first pitch curve.
No better guy you want up right now than Mark Canna, that's for sure.
So is that considered a shift?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess he's a step to the left of second.
Even if he was a step to the right, Garrett, it's a shift.
Now,
in my mind,
again, Canna, like Alonso, far more successful when they don't shift against him.
I just can't see giving up that much of the right side of the infield. Ronnie, would that kind of get you a little nervous?
What it would take away pitches from me. Like I would not want to throw the outside fastball. I'd have to do something soft or in to pitch to the defense.
Canna is 6 for 9 in
Come
this
on, Mark.
series. Raised his average 25 points the last 2 days.
Nice. Good eye.
Just missed 2-1. Lee, 24 years old. You're a deep player resume. 15th round pick by the Nationals. He Was more an outfielder than a pitcher in college. In fact, in 2 years, he pitched only 33 innings at Arkansas, so he's still relatively inexperienced. Between that, drafted in 18, there was no season in 20 because of the pandemic for the minor leaguers. So he's really not had a lot of innings under his belt. This year, 30 innings at Double-A. That's his only experience above Single-A. So he is very, very raw.
That was an experienced pitch there, though. The 2-1 breaking ball for a strike.
He's got a sweeping kind of breaker.
Reminds me a little Bobby O. The way he throws to the plate.
Yes, good call.
He gathers everything and then lets it go. So Bobby never had his cue like that. But
Bobby had a good cambio.
Come on, Mark, let's go.
2 out, 2 on, 2-2 to Canada. And that breaking ball runs inside. He stopped the
All right.
3.
Good eye, good eye.
He reminds me of a little bit of a lefty who pitched for the Nats and for the Mets, John Lannick.
okay.
Long Island kid. So now Lindor and Alonso will be running with 3 and 2 and 2 down. J.D. Davis would be next.
All right, guys. So 3-2 count, 2 outs. First and second, the runners will be going on the pitch. So a ball in the gap will score 2.
Take away a step from Lindor, but 2 outs, 3-2 count. No one's going to throw it out.
He's going to score on any outfield hit. Especially with the outfield playing deep, which they are against Canada. Runners go and
struck out.
Swinging on the slider. Good pitch
Damn.
by Lee.
Alrighty, guys. So the Mets did not score and do what they normally do with 2 outs. Nice curveball by Lee to strike out Mark Hanna on a 3-2 pitch. Going to the top of the second, no score. Once again, guys, I'm not using my normal microphone because I broke it. I already bought it on Amazon, so it should come in the next day or two. But unfortunately, I'm using my laptop microphone. So because the way the laptop microphone works, it picks up on sounds that are closer. And because when the TV is a little bit further than where I am with the laptop, it's kind of, it doesn't pick up the sound of the TV right away. So it kind of goes in and out. I'm sorry about that, but for the most part, it's been working decent. I know not great, but that will be fixed in the coming live streams because I am buying my mic now. So I'm thinking about going with the wireless mic maybe, but sometimes that's annoying as well, but we'll see. Just trying to check something out here, guys. So once again, guys, the Mets didn't score on the bottom of the first. No score. Brendan Nimmo almost hit a home run in the bottom of the first. Hit it to the warning track, but Juan Soto made the catch about 2-3 feet from the wall. That was on the first pitch, no less. So that would have been a nice way to say, hey, welcome to the big leagues, young fella, but it didn't happen. Lindor with the first base hit of the game for the Mets. Alonso walked, but Mark Hanna did strike out with 2 men on, with the runners in motion with a 3-2 count. So Mets 2-out RBIs are basically their calling card, but they didn't do it as of yet. But I still feel confident the Mets are going to win this ball game, and I think Carrasco will pitch well for our Mets. Yeah, Helen, exactly what about Yankee Stadium? I know somebody asked me about what stadium you don't like. It's not because I don't like the Yankees. Like, I'm very non-biased when it comes to stadiums. I will definitely tell you if the stadiums are good enough. All right, so game's about to start, top of the second, guys. I'll get back to the questions in a little bit.
Let's go. It flicks one out to left field, right at Canna. Line drive out.
1 out, guys.
The second inning. 1 down. Today's City Community Home Runs fan of the game is Debbie from Gilbert, Arizona. We have fans in Arizona. Of course we do. Did you know that? Yes. Go to SNY.TV/CHR to enter. Good luck, Debbie.
Eddie Lynch out there.
Eddie Lynch. Well, but, I mean, I figure Florida, we have fans because, the Mets have spring training in Florida. Arizona, Keith, you ever have a spring training in Arizona?
Cleveland
With the Indians?
Tucson was fun. I enjoyed Tucson. I didn't enjoy being in uniform, but I enjoyed Tucson.
Tucson's a great town.
Part of playing is being in the uniform.
I was embarrassing myself.
He's talking about the non-playing hours. He enjoyed those.
I tell you what, the little hole-in-the-wall Mexican restaurants that were family-run were spectacular Mexican food.
You're right about that.
Spectacular.
Michael Paco 3 for 7 in this series. He takes a slider off. I know you spent a lot of time there.
Yeah, those beautiful restaurants you're talking about were like the food trucks of the day. But I always stayed at the Scottsdale Princess for the entire spring training.
Nice.
Oh, spectacular.
I splurged and stayed at a resort hotel in Tucson. I forget, at a golf course. About a half-hour drive to the park. And it was just a pleasure to be there.
Yeah, Anthony, it's funny.
You guys read the novel?
When I have the actual microphone connected, you can hear the planes. My laptop will pick up the secondary plane like it's weird. I think Plummer's going to stay as long as he keeps it. Smart move, Robert. Once again, guys, it's not picking up the TV sound again. It's only picking up my voice. So, unfortunately, it comes and goes. Again.
That pitch that way.
And I think it's from a hitter's standpoint, Ronnie, and I see that. I'm going to tell myself, okay, he's got to pitch me in. And does that give me an edge?
Yeah.
Tonight, Luis Garcia making his season debut, just called up today with Alcides Escobar, straining his hamstring last night. And Garcia takes over at shortstop. He's had time with the Nats the last 2 years, playing both second and short, off to a very fast offensive start in the minors this year. He's still only 22 years old.
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
no hitter today.
They kind of rushed him to the major leagues.
Born in New York, grew up in the Dominican Republic. Got jammed, he fouled it off. Franco's at first base. Remember what happened when he got on first base last night? He got hit by D. Strange Gordon's batted ball, and I talked to Buck today, and he said, yeah, the umpires just completely missed it. That should have been a live ball because it went past Alonso. Guillorme had no chance for it. And we saw Dave Martinez come out after the inning was over to talk about it with the umpires, but Buck said he was a little surprised nobody reacted to it in the moment.
And I didn't know that rule, Gary, and you learn something new every day. And how many years of my life did I play first base? And so that never had to happen to me, where a runner got hit behind me.
Well, Jerry and I know it because we had a game where
That happened earlier this year, right?
Twice in the game.
And in that one, it was much closer because Pete was only barely in front of the runner. And in that case, the umpires ruled that the second baseman did have a play because the Mets were in a shift. But they weren't shifting last night, and there's no way Guillorme could have gotten to it. So it should have been a live ball. Swinging of this, and Garcia's down on strike for the second.
Nice pitch.
Had it been a live ball, that's probably getting out on it anyway.
Yeah, Anthony, I got these Lavere microphones that you can clip onto your T-shirts and stuff. They've worked well, especially with YouTube, like with picking up different sounds, because I am talking and the TV. So I spent a good almost $100 on those. I had two of them. The one I lost and this one I just broke. So I'm gonna go more casual and just get one of these bad boys, which should pick up both sounds pretty well. Should be out of the inning. All right. So Carlos Carrasco got out of the second inning with no problem, and that is good to see for our Mets. Let's see if we can get some offense going in the bottom of the second. Yeah, I think I can tell who's in the Dodgers. 'Cause sometimes they put TBD, because sometimes they don't want to, give away their hand. But let me just check if they have anything. Yeah, see, it's TBD for the whole series except for the Mets because the Mets got Walker and Bassett for the first 2 games up there. So TBD, I'm not surprised. Usually they don't do that, but again, at the moment we just don't know. Yeah, James, I'm gonna do more commentating a little bit more, but when the mic is working through the TV, I don't want to like overdo it and go over the sound. But I'm probably gonna do that a little bit more right now. If you guys want me just to do the play-by-play without the sound today, I'll do it. Only because the microphone is not picking up the TV as perfect as it should. Yeah, and then Peterson. So. You see, with YouTube is a little different because they don't give you a lot of options, unfortunately. But yeah, see, now it's not even. There we go. Sometimes it doesn't pick up my voice either. Sometimes. Oh, I see what you mean by stereo. Oh, that's a good point. I see that. Alrighty. So let's see if it works better. All right, I found the stereo thing. I see what you're talking about. All right, guys. So this stereo audio might actually be working better. You never know. Let's see. If it works for both, I'd be extremely happy. Yeah, he's been great. Lindor has been great. But let's see. Here goes. I'm going to see if it works better with the stereo sound. Thank you, Anthony. If it works, we'll see. All right, so yeah, I know you guys can hear me. That's not the issue. Let's see if you can hear the TV sound a little bit better. So here we go. Bottom of the second. No score so far.
There. You gotta, hey, not proper for TV. Story about
I was thinking of an old sitcom, a comedy. You know, Gary, you remember.
Please donate the daisies.
No. You want to do the commercial break.
J.D. Davis, 2 for 5 last night.
Activate bird killer.
I thought once you started showing the flowers and talking about landscaping, and Keith started, I thought he was going to cut himself short because he didn't want to talk about the incident last year.
Right.
The rose trimming.
Greg finally took you and Greg Picker's advice. Pay someone to do it.
It's about time.
That was very funny. You took Gary and Greg's advice, no advice.
See if JD can get it started there.
People in my community have been doing that for years. 1 and 2 to Davis with Escobar and Guillorme to follow.
I predict the footage is going to come out at some point.
No, I deleted it.
I didn't want to see
You
it.
can't delete anything in this
Sometimes
wild
some
world.
things are forever.
Well,
On somebody's hard drive somewhere.
Because I didn't want to see it because it was an ugly fall. Oh, man. And I was...
Keith Hernandez's near-death
I
experience.
didn't have any clothes on.
I'll try to avoid typing.
Well, that just it proved the virality of it right there. Says Hernandez, the running throw, and he gets J.D. Davis for the first down.
Almost had another infield hit.
Going places I never could have possibly imagined.
Well, you started.
I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Okay, Anthony, I'll try that too.
It makes sense to you?
That he was in the hot tub. Guys, we got a ball game here. He did to trim roses while he was in the hot tub.
The thorns on the roses alone.
Well, but they were up above, so
They were up in the pergola.
yeah, that was the whole problem. He was reaching up to trim the roses.
You know what? We got a chance
And then,
to have an undefeated homestand. Let's go.
Get out of my head. Get out of my head. Okay. Get it. Had a visual creeping in there.
here's Escobar.
See if Escobar can stay hot here.
As a right-hand batter, 2 of his 3 home runs this year have come batting right-handed. with full shift on against Escobar.
You know, I like those SNY shirts as well. I haven't found them yet. I mean, you can always embroider it yourself and be cool. But I don't think they sell them on the SNY site.
Well, Mets are producing offense galore.
Don't you love that? It's a recipe for success.
And a curveball for a strike. 2 out runs, 2 strike hits. Running hard to first base and beating out infield hits. And foul tip for strike 3. So
Once again, the Mets are having problems with left-handed pitchers.
How about Mr. Lee?
So far,
I agree, Joe.
you gotta love. He's been composed. It doesn't seem like it's too big for him. This is a little four-seamer that he throws. He likes to play with that fastball up in the zone. He gets it past Escobar, but he really just he has a little rise on the ball. He has a good sharp breaking ball, and he's thrown that breaking ball for 2 key strikes behind in the count. One to Escobar there with the 3-1 count.
The life on his fastball has been the most surprising part so far.
How about Guillorme?
Luis Guillorme, the last 13 games, is hitting .500, 19 for 38.
Probably right, Ryan. Let's hope.
In May, he had .414. And scored 160.
Lee has a very nice curveball, though.
Which was tied for the second most runs they've ever had in any calendar month, ever.
Since April 19th, he's been hitting at a .425 clip.
For the second straight batter, Lee falls behind 3-0.
So, Louis getting an opportunity to play, and boy, oh boy, is he a positive.
Today, giving Jeff McNeil the day off. So they continued some load management for Jeff. And that's a strike 3-1.
That's a good strike inside corner. A lot of left-handers have a hard time popping the dart in that inside corner against lefties. There's Jeff.
Jeff will be back home in Southern California tomorrow night, and no doubt in the lineup.
Good off day for him.
That's outside ball 4.
All right, we got a 2-out walk.
Second walk given up by Lee.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to throw a lot of pitches. That's why I'm a little surprised they're swinging early in counts.
Wow. Well, I was told not just since '69, but all time, the Mets tied the Giants, 71 Giants, for the largest lead any National League team has ever had on June the 1st. Now, the caveat is that in the old days, they used to start the season April 15th, so it was harder to build a bigger lead, but still, all time.
Mariners, of course, won 116 games that year.
Yeah, but didn't get to the World Series.
They didn't get. They did not.
Backdoor curveball for a strike to Tomas Nido.
Now, we talk about the 208, or the 108 wins. Only a dozen teams in Major League history have done it. 4 of those teams, 1 didn't get to the World Series.
I agree with that,
3
Ryan.
lost in the World Series.
Well, Mariners,
He hasn't thrown a lot of strikes. The Mets are just swinging out of the zone.
Yeah, the
The
Cleveland
Indians won 111 and 54 and got swept by the Giants. Correct. The Orioles.
I'd like to see Nido just get a hit at this point.
109 and lost to the Mets.
Yeah.
At the very least, turn the lineup over if he gets out for next inning.
I think off the top of my head.
That didn't make it.
Didn't win the
lost
World Series.
the World Series. The Mariners are the only ones that didn't get to the World Series. And Gary, the Mets right now are on a pace to win 108.
Right on that pace, 34 and 17. You win 2 out of every 3. You win 108.
That's all.
It's obviously possible.
It's definitely possible.
And they're doing it right now without their 2 best starting pitchers. And I mean, who knows what happens down the pike when they get Rob and Scherzer back.
Here we go.
It's on a hanging breaking ball from Lee. And so the Mets for the second straight inning, get 2 on with 2 out.
And let's see how they're going to.
Yep, 108 and 54. That's if they win 2 out of every 3 games. So, you know, granted, they get swept the series, they win 3, so it's like, listen, I don't think it's only going to take about 95 wins to, not even 95 wins to win this division. So, 108 would be nice. Maybe have the best record in National League, but we also get a bye in the first round, which worries me a little bit.
He had a breaking ball. We've been talking about how.
All right, Andrew, glad you're back.
Against the breaking ball.
Once again, guys, don't forget to hit on that like button. We only got 60-something likes, 150 in the stream right now. This is going to drop? No. Oh. All right, guys. Nimmo swings at the first pitch again. Flies it to left field for the 3rd out. Still no score for our New York Mets. 1986, I think it was 108, I believe. Let's see. The Mets won 108 games in 86. So the Mets are on pace for an 86 type of season, record-wise. But, again, it doesn't really matter to me. You know, obviously 108 was the most in franchise history. But that don't really matter to me, honestly. Look, if you can win the division with 89 wins, you win the division with 89 wins. All that matters is if you get hot at the right time when the playoffs about to start. That's the only difference. And I know people are like, oh, how nice would it be if the Mets win over 100 games? They have the best record in the National League. But you got to remember about the new rule this year, or the new playoff format. The best record in each league gets a bye in the first round. So, honestly, yeah, granted, you basically technically advance to the second round, so to speak, because of that. But I don't want I don't want to have that week off while the other teams are playing, and that team that wins is now on a type of a hot streak, so to speak. I don't really want that. But, again, it is what it is. Let the Mets keep on winning games, and if it happens to be that way, it happens to be that way. Adam, DeGrom may be back in the next 2 weeks. No, definitely not. The only reason why he's traveling to the West Coast is probably, he's getting a little bit closer to throwing on a mound, probably seeing live batters. That's about it. I don't think you're not going to see DeGrom probably until the end of June, early July at the earliest. They're not going to rush him back, especially if the Mets are playing as well as they did. You'll see Scherzer back before DeGrom. All right, guys, top of the 3rd, no score. Carrasco on the mound.
0. Zero's a good number for a pitcher. Corners in against D. Strange Gordon, hitting 9th in the order. He takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Gordon's a good hitter. Batting champ. Duh.
3 hits last night, 12 for his last 24, getting a chance to get a spot start here and there. Good back foot slider, and it's 0-2. Carlos Carrasco's dad is here.
Very proud moment for him to watch his son.
It's amazing how much he looks like Carlos. Gordon down on 3 pitches.
That was quick to get Gordon out. 3 pitches.
To be proud of Carlos on and off the field. Let's check in with Steve Gelb. Steve?
Yeah, Gary, you said it's amazing how much he looks like Carlos. I was speaking to him a little bit before the game, and he looks even more like Carlos when you talk to him, the mannerisms, the way that he speaks. But, yeah, to say that he's proud of Carlos, a huge understatement. And this is an emotional day for him just because he doesn't get to see Carlos Carrasco in person all that often. Hasn't seen him in a year. Hasn't seen him pitch in the big leagues since 2019. He says he tries to keep up to him watching the games from Colombia where he lives right now. But this is definitely a special, special moment. And you could actually tell just how much it meant and how excited he was. I was watching him about an hour and a half before the game when almost nobody was in the stadium. He was in his seat. He was looking out, and as soon as Carlos would found, he would take his phone out like a proud parent would, even after 11 years in the big leagues, snapping photos of his son on the mound.
That's awesome.
It's really cool. We take it for granted sometimes that
Gordon just got old, man.
parents could follow their kids around. Sometimes that's just not possible.
Should be 2 outs.
These are special moments.
There we go.
Throws out for the second out.
I know my parents, the first few starts I had in the major leagues, they'd always drive back down from Millbury, which was about 3.5 hours or so, 3 hours depending on the traffic. And I know before the first start I had, I tried to find them in the stands, and I did, because in those days there might have been only 5, 6, 7,000 people at the Big Shea, and everyone else was sitting, they were standing up. It was pretty cool.
My debut was in Candlestick Park. I had in front of my mom and dad, my brother and family. Very nerve-wracking. Very cold, too, that night, I recall, and windy at Candlestick. My relationship with my father was a little more complicated because he was my, instructor. He was what had taught me, and he couldn't let go. And if I came in a slump, it was like, Pete, you're doing this, you're doing that. But Dad, relax. And he would get in the stands and he would get so into it. Sometimes I came home one time, I said, Dad, you look like you're on an aircraft carrier and you're waving in the plane.
Good point, Christian.
I go, come on, just sit down, relax, talk to me.
Christian, in the coming days, you should be getting the package I sent you.
If I came into town in a slump, I would always be on edge. If I was red hot, I couldn't wait to show my goods.
That's wow. So I love Ronnie's story about encountering his dad warming up.
Adam, I don't know why he changed the strange.
My dad was part of the Air Force National Guard, was holding the flag that night, and then saw him on the field. They made my night. I ended up pitching 7 shutout innings in Game 4.
No problem, Christian.
Because of his presence alone. But my dad was just the opposite. When I was young, about 7 years old, he could not catch me anymore, and he pushed me along to other people to teach me. And he never was part of that much anymore. He taught my brothers, and then ended up being a baseball coach, high school baseball coach for 30 years.
I always find the athletes that were instructed by their parents, and I'll read their story. Chris Everett comes to mind.
Yeah.
She said that her dad taught her, but he realized he had to let her go. And Jim Everett, I believe his name was. And I think she went to the military school. I'm not sure about that. Don't quote me on that. But he let her go and let someone else take control of her. And that shows a lot about the Chris Everett's father.
That is one proud father. Watching his son face one of the best hitters in the game, and Juan Soto fouls it back.
Now, on the other hand, I have 3 younger brothers, and one of them was, when I was in the major leagues, maybe 13, 14 years old. The last time we were at Shea, there's a Sports Illustrated, they used to have the Sports Illustrated covers, and I was on one of them. And he stood up next to
Oh,
me,
that's
took a
awesome,
picture of me, and goes,
Thomas. That's cool, man. I appreciate
used
it.
to own
I'm
these
glad I can bring
halls.
you some sort of the game.
It's like, what? He goes, I used to own these halls. The security people, they loved me. I could go anywhere I wanted to.
Oh, where was that pitch? Woo,
Just off
that
the
was,
plate, doesn't
I don't
see
know if that was just outside.
Front.
Very close pitch.
Staring at a Carrasco, as is Soto's want.
You'll see it pop up on game day any minute, but that was a close pitch.
No sport magazine.
Oh, look at that, right on the corner, guys.
Cover. Oh, yeah. That was
But 3-2 pitch, 2 outs, coming to Soto.
cover of Sports Illustrated.
Like a rock and roller being on the cover of the Rolling Stone.
Here you go.
That's ball 4, and Soto
And he
flips the
walked
bat
him.
away and sharing a smile with Carrasco. Soto's got his own style. I don't think anybody begrudges it to him with the level of success he's had. Second walk given up by Carrasco.
Hey, Bobby, what's up?
Well, I thought the 2-2 pitch was there. But you see, no, that's not a strike. God, I wish I had that. I had none of that in the mound.
Oh, that's awesome,
You're not
Michael.
gonna find
Oyster
any
boat.
more
Interesting.
More even-tempered than Cookie. He's
Yeah, you know what? Soto doesn't try to stand anybody up.
able to smile all the time. I don't know how you do that and stay as competitive as he does.
I just think that's the way he's just a, a passionate, emotional guy. That's all he is. Yeah, the Johan Santana special was awesome.
Carlos has.
And things in perspective. Okay, I get it.
Captain of an oyster bowl. Interesting. That's. I wouldn't say that's. I don't know if it's a fun job. Then again, I never went on an oyster bowl, so I can assure you it's hard work for sure. That's the way it seems to me.
Cruz has the numbers against him.
Robert, I'll probably strike out. Maybe foul tip a few balls, but I'll strike out.
It's interesting.
A little wild by Carrasco right now. 3-0 to on Cruz.
Split finger hold the ball when they're getting the sign. Yeah, split finger grip. Cookie doesn't.
Well, I think he's got big hands, shaking hands with him, so it's easy for him to get that grip. But if you watch, he puts his glove right up against his tummy and just kind of holds it there, almost hiding it away from the hitter.
Ball 4, he walked Cruz now.
So back-to-back 2-out walks.
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
Cruz, so for Carrasco, who walked just 8 batters total
Exactly,
in the
John.
first
I agree with that with Joe.
3 of the first 3 innings.
When Soto's a Met, he can do the shuffle. He can do a flip in the batter's box. We'll love it.
So the Nats got a runner in
Once again, guys, you just tuned in. Don't forget to please hit on that like button, buddy. Everybody, so we can get the stream out to more people. It's only the 3rd inning.
through this series. Rounded out his first time up today, but 4 for 9 of the 3 games.
That makes sense, Michael. Hopefully you stay safe on that boat, buddy.
It's been a nice bounce back these last couple of years. He had a really rough go of it his last season in Pittsburgh. And they were kind of anxious to cut him loose, and he has rejuvenated himself as an Nat.
It seems like an attitude change when you watch him play now. Purpose, hustle, leadership.
Sitting 321 with runners in scoring position this year. Carrasco's now
The
this
Tuffle
week.
shuffle to the Soto
Last
shuffle.
6 pitches, and Nito's going to run it out to the mound.
Yeah, he's a little wild right now. That missed strike call, I think, messed him up after when he threw what he threw to Soto. 2 outs, nobody on.
Okay, he's gonna figure it out.
That strikeout kind of.
For 1,500, 2,000 innings, he'll figure it out. Sometimes even a veteran guy needs a little reminder.
Well, it's all about his secondary pitches.
Yeah.
He's missing, and that's his breaking ball in his
52 pitches in the 3rd. Not exactly where you want your pitch count to be, but it's not terrible.
precision. I guess would be the word.
Nearly as many balls and strikes so far this afternoon. And if you go back to the Soto at bat, he's now throwing 8 straight balls.
Just because you get 2-0 on a power hitter doesn't take away your fastball. A well-placed fastball outside and down. You're talking about a hitter who wants to do something big. That could work against him if you make the proper pitch away and down.
So called timeout on second base, had to tie his shoes.
Usual spot for Carrasco to be in with the 2 walks.
Oh, where was that
He was
pitch?
attempting Ronnie, but he missed with it. Now it's 3-0.
Just missed.
7 straight balls.
Gotta be careful here on this 3-0 pitch.
Well, he certainly has the green light. Yadiel Hernandez on deck. And it's outside, so
Wow.
3 straight walks. 10
Oh,
straight
boy.
pitches out of the strike zone.
Bobby, he pitched well the first 2 innings. Pitchers lose it. When you don't get that strike call you thought was a strike to end the inning, it kind of messes with pitchers' heads sometimes.
2 visits within that short period of time.
Call.
I think it's too much.
10.
Oh, they're showing his dad.
Throw strikes.
That's the international reaction of dads everywhere.
It's a big spot for Carrasco. Scoreless game, 3rd inning. Bases
All right, Carlos, bear down. Let's go.
3 straight walks. And now
Tough hit here in
Hernandez
Yadiel.
lined out to left field his first time up. Hernandez 0 for 8 in this series.
Fastball hitter.
And gets the first pitch slider outside for ball 1.
Oh boy.
He's another pull guy. Even though he hit a line drive to left field his first at bat, he rolls over the off-speed stuff, what I've seen of him so far.
11 straight balls thrown by Carrasco. And
There you go.
Hernandez looking to
Nice
unload
pitch.
one. This is the fastball. It's 1-1. I bet you he's never had 11 straight balls.
Yeah, right. Such a strike thrower. I like that pitch, the 2-seamer down, because You know, the season the Nats are having, players are going to try to get big.
And he tried to get big.
Hernandez has 4 home runs this year.
Yeah. There we go. Come on.
Swings through that. It's 1-2.
Now he just decided to go to number 1, Ron.
You got it at some point.
Come on, Carlos.
Now he's set him up for that good changeup.
He might throw one more heater because of how late he was on the previous one.
Elevator.
Maybe.
1-2 coming.
Got him, yeah. Nice pitch.
Carrasco finds his way out of the jam.
On the backup slider. Shook him out looking, baby.
Big pitching by
There we go.
Carrasco.
That's how you pitch, boys. That is how you pitch. 11 straight balls by Carrasco. Walked the bases loaded. And still finds a way to find himself in an at-bat. And gets the job done. That's what you can call professional pitching right there. That's how you do it. That's a veteran right there. Who could have easily blown up in that spot, but found a way to get it. That was a strike, though. That was a strike. It was on the outside corner. Honestly, it was nearly the same pitch he threw that to Soto. Almost in the same spot. But that was an excellent pitch. Got him looking. Clearly the batter was looking for another fastball there, and he got the breaking ball or the off-speed pitch, and struck him out. So, going to the bottom of the third, guys. Mets, Nats at 0. See if the Mets can give Carrasco some run support there. You know, he would have got out of the inning a lot easier, but unfortunately, he had to throw a lot more pitches. He's around 60 pitches in 3 innings. Not exactly where you want to be, but, you know, 1 or 2 quick innings here. He can definitely pitch 6 innings, and that's what you're going to need, especially going on a West Coast trip. You're going to need your bullpen. Remember, Drew Smith with the dislocated finger. He might be back in the Dodgers series, but I doubt it. He'll probably be ready for the Padres series, most likely. So, we're not going to have Drew Smith. Again, we have Nagosek. We do have Holderman, so there's guys that can fill in nicely, but you don't want to put too much pressure on your bullpen going into the West Coast trip. Clint, thanks for having the game on, bro. I live in Florida. MLB Network is showing the game. Well, I'm glad I can help you out a little bit. I know it's not Gary, Keith, and Ron per se, even though you do get the sound, but it's better than being blocked out. I understand that. So, unfortunately, I'm glad I can bring it to most of the people that can't watch it if you're not in the tri-state or in the Washington area. So, I don't think anybody throws a palm ball anymore, honestly. All right, guys. Bottom of the third. Marte is leading off.
Base is first time up.
Marte's saying something to Jordan Baker, but he never turned around. He just voiced his opinion back in the box.
He's retired the first 2 hitters in each of the first 2 innings, and he gets a pop-up from Marte right in front
that
of
might
the
be
plate.
trouble.
He's gonna get it. Lee gives it
Woo!
Bell
1 out.
reaches out and
That's right. He did pitch yesterday. I had a mind block there, guys. That's right. I remember saying, "Oh wow, he's pitching again."
well, you don't know if he was a great outfielder. This doesn't. He was an outfielder.
See what happens when I don't do live stream, guys? What happens? You kind of focus on the game, but you're not like. I said to myself, "Wow, Drew is pitching. He's back already." I guess I forgot already.
I'm a big Met fan. He's got that little hook. He bends it around that outside corner against the right-handers.
All right, Francisco, see if you can get it going right here again.
Lindor to base it up the middle his first time up. 1 of 2 hits against Lee. And he takes a fastball for a strike, and it's 0-2.
And Lee, I know the gun's saying 92, but he's not a hard thrower. He's just a crafty little left-hander.
And the curved ball line toward the middle. 1 hopper for Hernandez. And that's the second out.
Well, Mets usually have problems with left-handers, and Lee's pitching well.
For some baseball talk as they weigh in on the latest Mets and Yankees news. Baseball Night in New York, presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers, weeknights at 6, only on SNY. Every time I read that program, I'm thinking it's a therapist.
That's exactly what I thought. Either
Like,
they are the therapist or they need one.
like in treatment.
Yeah.
Well, Evan Lee, his last AAA start, gave up 4 runs and 10 hits in 5 innings. That was last Friday. He is very
go,
much
Pete.
better so far in this game. Now facing Pete Alonso with the bases empty. He walked Pete on 4 pitches his first time up.
He's showing no fear.
Bobby, I think there's a better chance of splitting the series, the 4-game set, than actually winning the series.
Go ahead.
It's hard to take 3 out of 4 against a really good team like the Dodgers are. But I'll be happy with a split. But we do got Bassett and we do got Walker going in the first 2 games, so that was my show, King of Queens. Love that show.
Also in the same town as Travis Swart. Remember the left-handed pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds and other teams, Chicago Cubs? He was a great athlete.
Good hitter.
Threw left-handed, batted right-handed, could fly, like running.
I agree, Ryan.
Triple against the
Yeah.
Mets.
See if Pete can get a 2-out home run here, get the Mets on the board.
Wanted to come in, but I think it was a little bit on tenterhooks there. A little bit. 3-1.
Yeah, wanting to come in and going to come in are 2 different phrases.
Canada would be next. Lee didn't pitch much in Arkansas, but he could have faced Alonso in college. They're 2 years apart. SEC. Alonso takes one the other way.
That might be gone.
Corner, slicing toward the pole. It's out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a foul ball.
Foul ball.
Oh, I thought he had it. My apologies. Looked like that ball got tucked into the corner, but apparently it just missed.
I thought it was 10 feet fair from my vantage point.
Yeah, I thought it was 10 feet short.
Yep, foul ball.
Outside the pole.
It was right in that corner
Disappeared from our view.
that nobody can really see it.
329 feet. Oh well.
Foul ball, guys. Foul ball.
Gary, now don't beat yourself up for that missed call.
Talking about therapy,
It's all right. Here,
it's good.
it's like an open door. Forget it. Turn the page. Gotta be like a closer, right? If you want that game-winning home run, you gotta bounce right back.
Short memory, Gary. Back at it.
Get the new ball from the umpire. Throw it up.
All right, got the walk.
Oh, Ford Alonso. It's the 3rd walk given up by Lee.
Pete's going to get a lot of walks now, and he's starting to mount.
It's interesting you say that, Keith. He doesn't get frustrated.
Nope.
You know, he will get tons of walks because it's getting around the league.
And I think with, you got a left-hander,
That's another big reason why you're probably going to need a big bat.
but with McNeil, of the right-handers,
A bigger bat behind Pete Alonso because they're going to walk him a
So
ton.
here's Canna with 2 out to runner at first.
Gary did pull a John Sterling for
Canna
sure.
struck out his first time up. Nice slash is one foul.
But what I meant by that the walks are going to start coming and it's getting around the league. Even when Pete hit 53, there was a way you could get
Christian,
him out.
today's
There
your
was
half birthday.
movement there. If you made your pitches to get him out, that is it's getting smaller and smaller.
well, he comes into the game hitting 286. Okay, and it hitting with power.
Yeah.
He has walked 3. They've all come with 2 out. Carrasco's walked 4. They've all come with 2 out.
It's funny
Oh,
that
Mark.
the Nationals with defense Canada like this because of the proliferation of hits he's had against him just this year to the right side.
And he takes one on the right side, but Hernandez far enough over to grab it.
All right, nothing again, nothing done again. All right, guys, we're going to the top of the fourth. No score. Well, the Mets are fun. You know, they've been scoring runs in droves lately over the last couple of games, but they've been shut down by a rookie starter. You know, not only do the Mets have problems with left-handed pitchers, you know, in years past, they do have problems with rookie starters. But, again, the Mets haven't been hitting lefties well at all this year. So it's a huge problem. And I do believe that why I think the Dodgers have TBD on their pitchers of who's pitching, because we don't know yet, I think they're going to try to throw a couple of left-handers against us. That's what I think. You know, definitely probably. I don't know if Kershaw's pitched the last couple of days, but he'll probably get a start. So I'm trying to think right now. Let me see. Check out the Dodgers roster. See what we can do here. Let's see. Let's see. Dodgers. Quail, thank you so much. I appreciate it, buddy. So let's see. Let's check out the roster, see what they got here. With pitchers, you know, can they have... they got mostly righties. I don't know. Is David Price pitching? I haven't really noticed that. You know, Urias might, but he's a bullpen guy. So, yeah, you know, unless Kershaw pitching, maybe it'll throw a lefty or two against us. Tyler Anderson is a possibility as well. All right, guys, so we're going to... Oh, they're showing the Santana. No-hitter. Yeah, so you're going to get probably 2 lefties against the Dodgers, which I think is their plan.
Emotional in so many different ways.
All right, top of the fourth, no score. Carrasco has 59 pitches in a full, which is not too bad.
Following the Mets for any considerable length of time. The fact of no-hitter was a defining quality of the franchise, and just the fact that someone had a chance and that it was that guy.
Yeah, Tyler Anderson, Urias, 2 guys they're going to pitch. Gosselin as well, I think Joe said. So, yeah, it's going to be a... Look, the lefties have been the problems with the Mets, and I think the Dodgers kind of set it up that way. Just because. Anderson, Gosselin, Buehler, and Urias. So, you're going to get 2 lefties. Which makes sense for the Dodgers. The Mets haven't pitched them well. The Mets haven't hit them well at all.
Mets have been known for their pitching prowess for half a century. Up the middle, and that's exactly where Guillorme is playing.
I mean, it was 3 hours of King Lear. I mean, there's something just... So many things were happening, and I was emotional about it, too, for the reasons that Gary gave. And that was, after the game, I went down and hugged Johan, and it was important to me anyway. I don't know why, but it was important to me that it was him at that moment in that time who did it.
And of course, so much of the drama revolved around Johan's health and Terry Collins' agony, allowing him to stay out there. And even yesterday, when they got together for their press conference, Terry said, you know, I've had a lot of nightmares and some good dreams about it. And Johan reached over to Terry, put his arm around him, and said, "You should have nothing but good sleep from now on," because I don't think Johan ever had a single regret, even though, you know, arguably it hastened the downfall at the end of his career. It didn't seem as though at the end of the day that was even a consideration.
Yeah.
But for Terry, I know how difficult it was that day, that night, and for the intervening 10 years to live with that decision.
It was a real crossroads moment for Terry, and maybe for Johan as well. I love the quote, I don't know if you guys read it, by Adam Wainwright, that said, you know, there's a certain point in your career as a pitcher.
Once again, guys, please hit on that like button if you haven't already. I do appreciate them like buttons when you hit it, so we can get this stream out to more people.
At that point, he said he had 2 Cy Youngs. The ball's foul.
Nice effort by Petey on the foul ball.
2 Cy Youngs, stardom, had pitched forever, strikeout records, all those things. And Adam Wainwright said, you know, if it blows out, it blows out. You had your moment in the sun. You're a chance at a moment in the sun.
And that's really the truth, right?
There's Tyler McGill. Then you all around to take a picture with all 5 guys?
Did all 5 guys, and McCann and Tolley and
Buck mentioned in the pregame that McGill threw up the mound. He was surprised at the velocity.
his next move's going to be going on a rehab start. Alonso diving, can't quite get to that, and Luis Garcia's got a base hit.
Look, the Mets can lose a lot of games on the West Coast, but I would still want them to play well. If they play well and lose, you just tip your cap. I just don't want them to get manhandled and act like they don't belong. That's what I worry about. But I really like beating the Dodgers.
To his left, and that's a routine play for a big league infielder. It's not so easy for a lot of infielders, but he has such great footwork. And you know, Buck Showalter in the clubhouse said something. I learned something new every day with him, and he said you never want, because Gorman goes left and right so good because he's got duck feet. And I go, what do you mean?
His base hit to right field for
right in the
Adams.
shift.
Garcia's going to go first to third, and Carrasco's got some trouble in the fourth. Back-to-back hits by the 7 and 8 hitters.
Ah, boy.
Just first and third now, and there's a big open right side of the infield again. Just says here, hit it here. It's first and third, even though there's with one out, sets up a.
Yeah, you know, that's a ground ball to the second baseman, double play, and the inning. But because of the shift.
The infielders have to have duck feet like this so they can sidle. He goes, you never want a bow-legged infielder. You see a kid in the minor leagues who's bow-legged, he's an outfielder. You see a guy that's got duck feet, I'm paraphrasing here, he's an infielder. And I just, something you learn every day from Buck.
So if you have pigeon toes, like Mickey Rivers, you'll be coming out.
Come on, Carlos, get out of this.
Yes. Just interesting.
And Gordon showing bunt, not a suicide squeeze. Did he offer at it? No.
Safety squeeze.
Taking a long look down at Gary DiSarcina, who is now the Nats third base coach, former Mets third base coach. Nats trying to figure out a way to get a run home. They have the bases loaded to third and didn't score. Gordon be a tough man to double up. And he does, but and it's fouled off. And again, it was a safety squeeze attempt.
Yes, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I honestly think the shift gives. I think it's 50-50. It gives you outs, and it also takes away outs as well, in my opinion. I don't think it's so 80-20, in my opinion, especially in the infield.
And even if he swings the bat and hits a ground ball, what are the odds you're going to double up D. Gordon? Garcia third, Adams at first with one out.
Nice pitch.
The last inning, Carrasco threw 11 straight balls. Dave did the research. First time in his career he's ever thrown 11 straight balls. Also the first time he
Bobby, I hate the
the
shift.
His whole career. I believe that.
I get shift in the outfield. I just don't understand the shift in the infield. Not with runners on base. It makes no sense to me. That ground ball, even though it was hit hard, would have been a double play to the second baseman. It would have been an easy 4-6-3.
An out pitch, if you don't get it, you miss inside, and it sets up a 3-2 splitter. And here it comes.
2-2 to Gordon. Rolled down at first, a foul ball.
I agree, Clint. Thank God. I think there'll be so many more double play balls because of the no shifting. Because it'll be banned next year. That's what I think. A lot more double plays have been missed. Like, I understand shifting with nobody on. Like, big shifts. But when there's men on base, it just doesn't make sense to me. Ever. See if Carlos can get a... D. Gordon at least get a grounder here.
2-2. And now ball at the plate. Gordon just able to get a piece of that to keep the at-bat alive.
It was completely full.
Once again, guys, if you're just tuning in, please don't forget to hit on that like button. Let's get this stream out to more people. It's only the 4th inning. We got a long way to go in this game. Let's get more people, more viewers. It's a lot more fun.
2-2. Little dribbler foul, and Gordon hanging tough.
Garcia at third is getting
75 pitches for Carrasco, so
secondary lead.
he probably will throw close to 80 pitches by the end of this inning, maybe more. Maybe only go 5, which is not exactly what you want from Carrasco.
Pete or to Escobar at third base, they're going to have a hard time. They're not going to have a play at the plate. He's getting such a big jump.
8th pitch of the at-bat coming to Gordon. And he hits it on the ground.
Double play. Yes! Got him. Yes. What a quick double play by Lindor and Guillaume to end the inning. No score going to the bottom of the 4th. They had to turn that double play rather quickly, guys, to get D. Gordon at first base, but they just got him by his step. Lindor with the strong throw after touching second place. Big double play, getting Carrasco out of the inning with just 76 pitches in the 4th, so gives him a chance to still get through 6 innings with around 100 pitches. So, woof. That was good. That was what we needed. I didn't think we were going to double up Gordon in that spot, but we did. So we're going to the bottom of the 4th, guys. Still no score. You know, Carrasco was playing with fire a little bit, but still gotten out of the way. Gotten out of trouble 2 innings in a row. So this the offense got to start scoring. You know, we scored a lot of runs lately. You know, it seems like it's going to be a couple of runs today. Maybe 3 runs might win this ball game. You know, it seems like, you know, I wonder if, like, both teams, it took a lot out of them yesterday. It was extremely hot yesterday. Not a very nice game to play. I never used to like playing baseball in 95-degree weather. It sucked. It's extremely hot. I know it was a night game, but still, it's just hot. You know, that can take a lot out of you, especially in a day game. And, you know, both teams are traveling after today, so, you know. But we'll see. I mean, Carrasco hasn't pitched well but got out of trouble. The Mets, for some reason, can't hit Evans Lee at the moment. But this is technically the going to be the 3rd time around the batting order. That's usually when you can get to a rookie. But again, the Mets have problems with left-handed pitchers. And it's been like that all year, which is crazy because they're not really left-handed dominant in their lineup. I know you got Nimmo, Guillermo, you got you know, Lindor's a switch hitter. You know, everybody else is right-handers. You know, you got Davis, Alonso. You got Escobar's a switch hitter. Lindor's a switch hitter. Connor's right-handed. Nito's right-handed. So, I don't know why they should be better against left-handers since they have enough right-handers to take care of business. But for some reason, they just don't hit left-handers well. You know, could they get to them? Sure. But we'll see. So, they got the probable starters. Gosselin, Anderson, Buehler, Urias for the Mets, Walker, Bassett, Peterson, Williams. So it's not exactly the rotation you want going into the Dodgers series, but Tyler Anderson, Gosselin really have been good. Under 3 ERA, Gosselin got a 1 ERA, under a 2 ERA, really, really good. All right, Davis leading off, the bottom of the 4th, no score.
Kershaw could be back soon.
And leadoff base hit for Davis.
Davis takes one the
Here we
other
go.
way. JD's got a base hit on the first pitch of the home 4th inning. The Mets' 3rd hit of the day.
JD starting to heat.
Well, the way the Mets beat left-handed pitching, especially the starters, they made their pitch count go up quickly, so they have to get taken out of the game for bullpen arms. That's how they get it done. But there's no reason, you know, just because they don't hit them now doesn't mean they can't hit them tomorrow. But we'll see. You know, that's why baseball is great. You just never know.
And that is it. More to hits one
Uh-oh.
along the left field line.
Stay foul. Stay foul.
Hernandez near
Oh,
the
wow.
line, and he makes the
That ball
catch
stayed in.
territory. JD
Huh.
thought about tagging, but thinks better.
Interesting. I thought that ball was way
Fly
foul.
out off the bat of Escobar for the
But
first
it
out.
stayed in. He caught it in
Escobar got
foul
too quick
territory.
on it, hit it on the end of the bat. No one back up the throw, too. The right fielder, Soto, did not come in to back up that throw. Normally, that's the first baseman's job.
Yeah, I don't know if the Mets are going to go that route with Keiko. They might, since, you just need arms at this point, Roberto.
So now Guillorme with Davis at first and one out. Luis drew a walk his first time up. Let's check in with
Jason, I don't know why you say that. It's going to be ugly. I mean, the Dodgers just lost to Pittsburgh last night, again. So, I mean,
Maybe you could speak to exactly how this
just
feels.
because they can't hit a pitcher today doesn't mean they can't hit it tomorrow.
This is the longest he's felt consistent with his swing, where he just feels like it's very, very repeatable. Said at times in the past, he doesn't know why. Sometimes his hands would feel off, his feet would feel off. He just never felt like everything was in sync for a long stretch of time. He said maybe it's just that he's...
Yeah, I wouldn't be against getting Keiko.
Been able to stay
But, I mean, he's going to get a very short leash.
Feels like he knows
That's for
exactly
sure.
what his swing is going to feel like every single time he's up there.
Double play ball, Joe.
Has to do with him getting to play every day and get into a rhythm. And hitters are warts. And in my hands, I don't feel good. I'm a little quick. I'm striding too quick. Hitters are notorious for that. I was that way too. The only time you really feel comfortable at the plate is when everything is in sync. And I always said it's like you're in a rocking chair.
Yeah, it does seem like the Dodgers play down to their lower competition,
Right there.
and the Dodgers get up against good competition.
In that rocking chair.
And a 4-pitch walk puts him
All right, first and second, one out. Tomasito coming up.
rocking chair with a quilt.
Yeah, but Jason, I don't care about years past, because last year's team is 100 times different than this year's team.
Alonso reached base in the third
So the pitching coach is coming in right now, so I'm going to lower it a little bit.
just said it was a hit by pitch, not a walk.
But yeah, I mean, I don't care about the West Coast trip last year. I don't care about it in 2019. I don't care about it. It has nothing to do with this team this year. We already had a West Coast trip. We played well. Yeah, we lost. We went 3-3. But if you go 5-5 on the West Coast in a 10-game West Coast trip, every Met fan would take that. As the vaunted Dodgers, everybody is already giving them the World Series championship. They haven't played great baseball. There's some games where they can't hit. There's some games where they can't pitch. So it's not. It comes down to who plays the better game during that time. Not what they did last year. Not what they did last series. It comes down to who pitches better, who gets the clutch hits. It can happen at any moment. Exactly, Jason. I would take that too. Here we go, guys. First and second, one out. Nito at the plate.
Nito at a base hit to left field his first time up. That's a stranded 5 runners in the first 3 innings. They've got 2 more aboard with 1 out. And Nito gets a breaking ball.
Yeah, that's a run. 1-0 Mets. Oh, he bobbled it. We might get another run here. We got it. 2 runs. Yes, 2-0 Mets. An error by D. Gordon in center made Guillorme score from second base. Excuse me, from first base. 2-0 Mets. Put pressure on the defense.
Nito can catch up to a breaking ball and hits this ball sharply up the middle.
He scored from first base because of that error.
Right there, took his eye off the ball.
There we go. Now top of the order.
And here's the hustle by the Mets here. On point.
Nice hustle by Guillorme.
Now he's got to pick up his coach here. And you've got a third base coach in Joey Carr.
There you go.
And Nimmo jumps.
That's the big difference with this team. And that's why, Jason, when you talk about last year about the West Coast, the difference about this Mets team, they put the bat on the ball. They don't strike out a lot. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And I don't care how good your defense is. When you got to make a big play, can they make it?
Saw Gordon boot that
Mets have done that all year. It's a big difference with this team.
from second to third.
All right, Brandon.
Now to chance to score.
I agree. Joey Cora has been a great third base coach. He's very aggressive when he needs to.
Is there a sound from the crowd that lets you know that someone has booted the ball in the outfield? Or something has happened that's out of
Honestly,
order?
I take 4 and 6 on the road trip. That's not a terrible road trip.
You don't hear the crowd.
Okay.
You're
But then again, I think we're better than the Padres. I think we're better than the Angels. Dodgers, I honestly think because we're not 100% healthy, I don't think we're on the same level on paper with the Dodgers, but that doesn't mean we can't beat them.
It's just like when
Look,
you up there
get out of the Dodgers series 2-2, I'll be happy.
with the game on the line.
And see what happens with the Padres.
55,000 and shake. You hear it, but you don't hear it. If you're
Yeah, historically, of course not. But as you know, Jason, it doesn't matter what happened last year or the year after or the year after that. Uh-oh. Oh, damn, he thought he hit that harder, too. I don't know about you guys, but when they hit these balls, it looks like it's going further than it is today, but they're not. 2 outs.
Brandon's had 2 near misses. His first at bat, and then now
Yeah, I mean, I think all players give 100% eventually, but... All right, so they're taking out the pitcher. So Lee is gone, so the Mets get him out. 67 pitches and threw 4. So, I don't know who's coming in. I can't see it. But the bullpen's coming in for the Nationals, so we're going to wait till the commercial is over right now, and we'll get back to it. But once again, when it comes to the West Coast guys, look, I believe I forgot who said it. Oh, man, I forgot who said it. It was a good... Yeah, Christian said it. Dodgers are 7-6 against the NL East. 7-6. So that means they play teams that are under 500 in the NL East, but they're only 1 game over 500. So what does that tell you? Now, you can think of it a few ways. You could say, well, they play down to the competition. That's why they don't play well. Possibly, because they haven't played the Pirates well. So maybe they just lower their... I don't know if they just play down to their opponents when they're not good teams and play and get up when there's a good team. That's a possibility. Or maybe everybody who... I can assure you there's a lot of people that are not on the West Coast that don't watch the Dodgers every day, that just look at the record and say, oh, great team, World Series contenders. That's all they think of. But there's people on the West Coast who never watch the Mets and just look at the Mets record and is like, oh, they're a good team. How are they so good? Makes no sense. Look at their lineup. Some people on the West Coast, outside of Oakland and maybe the California area, have no idea about Kana or Marte that much. Or, Pete Alonso having a great year. Or Jeff McNeil. How many... You could probably walk into any ballpark on the West Coast and say, who's Jeff McNeil? They might not know. So, we're a team that don't strike out a lot, which is an extremely big deal. Because what they do, they put the bat on the ball. They make the defense make plays. They're a situational hitting type of team. They manufacture runs. Not a lot of teams, if any, do that like the Mets have done it. The Dodgers are more of a power team. Yes, they can bunch hits together for sure, but they rely on the power a lot more than they do on the situational hitting. And that's why I think the Mets are a different type of team. They can beat you, they can beat you with home runs in a series if they need to. Look, the Mets came back against the Phillies because of a home run. The Mets had a couple of home runs in that Philly series. But the Mets find a way to beat you in certain ways that I think can be a little annoying for teams that face the Mets, especially a team that they haven't saw before in the year. All right, guys. Victor Arano is in for the Nationals. Mets lead 2-0 in the bottom of the 4th.
A real problem with that first man up against him, and his first man will be Starling Marte. Lee, not a bad job in his first big league start. Called up from Double A.
See if Marte can get a 2-out RBI here.
Single A before today. He acquitted himself okay.
Yes, he did.
Marte is lined out to first and popped
Yeah,
up
the
first.
Phillies took 3 out of 4 against the
Second,
Dodgers.
2
I
out.
mean,
2 runs home in the inning. And jumps back, ball 1.
Well, the Mets have pretty much torched most of the staff of Washington, the only guys that really performed well have been Espino with 3 scoreless in the first game.
Slider on the play from Alonso. It's 2-0.
That's pretty interesting.
I agree, Terry, 100%. Once again, guys, don't forget, if you haven't already, please hit on that like button. Let's get this stream out to more people. The more likes, the more the stream gets on the top of the list on YouTube. That's the most important part, guys. Mets lead 2-0, bottom of the 4th, 2 outs. Oh, that's a wild. That's a pass ball.
Nito over to third. Would charge a wild pitch to Arano. What the heck happened there?
So the Mets got the 2 runs by Tomas Nito base hit up the middle. J.D. Davis would have scored easily, but D. Gordon made an error in center field that scored Luis Guillorme all the way from first base to give the Mets the first 2 runs of the ball game. So nothing special from the Mets, just putting the ball in play, making the defense make the play. Putting pressure on the defense. That's how they got that 2 runs right there.
3-0 to Marte with Lindor on deck. And Marte takes a strike.
Alright, guys, I will be back in a second. Sorry about that. Just give me 1 second. I just have to do something really quick.
Slowly, in comes Franco. Nice pickup. And gets it by a stride. Marte always running hard. Out by a shade. And that ends the inning.
Alright, guys, so I'll wait until the next inning to do what I got to do really quick. But Mets lead 2-0. Nito base hit. Scored the 1 run with Davis coming in from second. And then the error from D. Strange Gordon scoring Luis Guillorme from first base. So Mets lead 2-0 going to the top of the 5th. So as soon as the inning comes back, guys, we're going to put on the sound. And then I'm just going to go do something really quick so I can just deal with something. And then I'll be right back with you probably, hopefully, before the inning ends. Yeah, you know, guys, when it comes to, you know, that's why baseball is like really a great game. Like when there's a great basketball team, they're usually not going to lose to the lesser team. You know, similar to football, usually the better team usually beats the really bad team. In baseball, just because there's so many different aspects to the game that, you know, a bounce of the ball here, you know, an error here can lose you the ball game. So, you know, that's just how it goes, you know. It is what it is at this point, but I don't know, I think the Mets have a really good chance to come back over a 500 record. So, you know, they're a good team. You know, people are not really giving it Mets enough credit. You know, people think it's the end of the world if the Mets go on the road trip on the West Coast and it's over. So, but I think we're going to be fine. No, I don't got to go. I tell you that. I don't hide nothing from you guys. But yeah, I think the Mets, like I said, 5-5, I will take it for sure. You know, anything else, hey Angel, how you doing? So it's like, you know, 5-5, you probably, you know, if the Braves or the Phillies play well, what are they going to gain? 2 or 3 games? We'll see. All right, guys. Top of the 5th, Mets lead 2-0. I'm going to keep this sound up. I'll be right back.
At a sweep homestand. They took 3 from the Phillies. They've taken the first 2 from the Nats. Now they have a 2-0 lead going to the 5th inning today. Top of the batting order, Cesar Hernandez takes a fastball strike from Carlos Carrasco. Carrasco, his last start against the Phillies, threw 5 scoreless before he ran into some unwelcome trouble in the 6th. Not all of his own making. He had, what, a 7-0 lead in that game.
That's right.
Oh, look at the lefty in the stands. Jerry Blevins.
One of my favorites. He's doing great on TV, by the way. Have you gotten a chance to listen to him?
He is.
It's great.
Fantastic.
Ground ball right at Lindor, shifted perfectly. Ron Hernandez one away.
Lindor gets in front of the ball. His fundamentals are solid. Keeps his glove down, facing the ball. Gets in front, 2 hands. And he's learned to gather himself now this year, and he's just been playing a terrific shortstop.
You know what's nice about having Jerry on the air? It's good to have somebody under 50 talking about baseball on our airway.
That's right. I was under 50 at some point when we started this.
So are we all.
I don't know how to quite take that comment from you, Gary.
Soto is grounded out and walked. I mean, Gumps can't be the only one.
Is he under 50?
Well, I mean, the hair color is like 65, but
I wasn't sure.
It's just because it's this pale complexion.
I just had to make a match, guys.
Soto went around a half swing on the changeup, and it's 0-2. Soto's grounded out and walked, 1 for 8 in this series, and your goal and a great hitter is struggling like this. He's in and out of town before it turns.
He is out in front, and I think we're seeing why he's hitting right now 231.
And that's how he laid off the changeup and stopped the swing, and it's 1-2. Even with his troubles, Soto still leads the league in walks and still has more walks than strikeouts. Nobody has a better walk to strikeout ratio than Juan Soto. Two and two.
He had him set up for that pitch. He just didn't make it.
The only guy, and he had 52 more walks than strikeouts. Half swing, did he go that time? He did. Strike 3. Let's see if he's right. 5 strikeouts for Carrasco as against Soto in the half swing.
Got no fastballs. 1.
Well, he starts him out with a high breaking ball. Then the split finger he took. This one, though, did he go around? I think they said he did. And then he came back later. He just continued to pound that split finger. It just tells you, even against a great hitter like Soto, how effective that pitch has been. And it's been his best pitch. That's why he's where he's at right now.
Now Nelson Cruz slices one down the right side. Alonso giving chase, but can't quite catch up. Does that count? Does it count? No.
Can you imagine if Soto took that contract they offered him?
What did he turn down?
350 or so?
350 mil? Is it no? I mean, I would send you a limo with a couple armed guards.
Isn't that the highest total value? Does Trout have the highest total value of any
I
contract?
think it does, yeah.
Carrasco looking good, huh?
He got more than
Keeping that pitch count a little bit lower.
With everyday players.
Yeah,
Hopefully on the 90 you can get that 6th inning going.
Expression is of unhappiness and anger. He's simmering, mad at himself.
Cruz swings over the slider, and it's 1-2. Carrasco walked Cruz his first 2 times up in a scoreless game, but here with 2 out and nobody on, going right after him. Looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the day. And another one sliced, and this one will make it to the seats and out of play. Cooking through 85 pitches in his last start, over 5 2/3. He's at 88 now, so this could be his last go-around. 96 has been his season high. Just below the knees with the sinker, and it's 2-2.
So all the at-bats I've watched Carrasco this year, third start against the Nationals.
Well, a lot of people
He's thrown one fastball in.
thought that was the bigger, not the bigger piece, but an important piece in that Lindor trade with Carrasco.
Staying away. And couldn't touch
thought.
the slider, and it's 3-2.
Doesn't look like Carrasco is going to go through 6.
Characteristically has walked
Not exactly. That third inning with 26 pitches just killed him with his pitch count.
That 3 consecutive walk third inning. First time that's ever happened to him in his career. And Cruz watches
Oh,
just
where is that
play for
pitch?
ball 4, close
Jeez.
pitch. Well, that's the 3rd time Cruz has walked and the 5th overall for Carrasco.
I think the Rangers have a really good chance to pick up game 1 here.
That should
You know, we are at home.
This is gonna be a
They
five-game
haven't played in, what, 9, 10 days? I think they have a really good shot. They have to get out early, though. They got to get the energy going. Right away, they got to jump on them real quickly. I wouldn't be surprised if the Mets are trying to get Bieber in that trade as well, other than Carrasco.
Gossett, too, is pitched wonderfully.
Bell is grounded out and walked today, 0 for 1.
91 pitches for Carrasco, 2 outs, 1 on, top 5. Mets lead 2-0.
Fastball to start them off, foul tip, 0-1.
True, Joe. That's true.
$426 million for 12 years. And if you're Soto, that's probably what you're aiming at, right? Yeah, that's your target. That's why he turned down as much as he did. Everybody wants to be the next guy to set the standards, set the bar. And they get encouragement from the union for that, too.
I can attest to that. I was strongly.
Line the other
Oh,
way by
man.
Bell. That's a base hit.
That's
Chased
not
down
good.
toward the corner by Cannon. He's not going to be able to cut it off. Cruz, though, with those 41-year-old legs, can't score. They'll have to stop at third.
All right, second and third, 2 outs.
His 9th of the year.
94
And
pitches.
the Nats at the time
Luckily,
run
Cruz is
scoring
running, so he's
position.
not going to score on a double there.
Starts to stir as Jeremy Hefner heads out to the mound.
Yes, he's going to stall. He's going to stall for time here. It's a good pitch, Ron. It just that ball went outside the strike zone, and that's just good hitting right there.
Seriously, a target for the Mets to get as an everyday DH is a guy like Josh Bell. He's definitely a guy. He just turned his career around in Washington, especially this year.
You hit it where it's pitched. You know, you try to pull it.
Lugo is warming up for the
Right into
Mets.
the pitcher's hand. It's Lugo early.
Trying to get Lugo ready for Franco.
I wonder, in this kind of a circumstance where Carrasco finds trouble this quickly late in an inning, is it the guy who can get loose fastest that you get up at this point?
That, and I think that I don't know what the numbers he has against Franco, but I bet you
This might be his last batter as well, not just inning. If you don't get out of this.
Yadiel Hernandez, who's lined out and struck out. So.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 for 15.
Fair ball. Yeah. All right. Nice play by Nito to get that before it didn't try to go foul. Now that's how you get out of an inning and struggling. A little swinging bunt. The ball went about a foot and a half, but Nito picked it up before it kind of had a chance to roll foul. Picked it up, tagged the runner, tagged the hitter, and in over. So that's exactly what. Couldn't ask for anything better than that. Mets lead 2-0 going to the bottom of the 5th. Carrasco didn't really pitch well. You know, first 2 innings pitched well, but struggled the last couple of innings. His 28 pitch third inning was where it kind of messed up his pitch count at, and you know he could have pitched to 6 if he had a better third inning. But again, that's baseball, and that's why you know you hope Lugo looked like he's gonna come in. I'm assuming Lugo's gonna probably pitch 2 innings, unless you go 1 inning per reliever if you want to do it like that. But we'll see. McCann, I haven't heard much about McCann, but I mean with that surgery, it's like 6 weeks, and then what was that, like almost 3 weeks ago? So he might be back by the Angels series probably. Another 10 days? No, probably not. Maybe by the end of June, most likely. Like I said, Scherzer and McCann can come back around the same time probably. And maybe, who knows, if DeGrom comes out a little quicker, you know, if he's on track to he's going on. He's traveling to the West Coast because he's getting ready to go on the mound, DeGrom. So, they probably want him to face a couple of, like batting, probably throw batting practice, probably, hang around with the team. When they start doing that, when an injured player that's been out a while or most of the season starts to travel with the team, that's how you know that there's a pretty good chance he's going to come back in the next couple of weeks. Because, to keep him around the team, get the vibe of the team, throw a couple of batting practices. You have the therapist there and all that stuff too. So that's a good sign as well that they have DeGrom traveling with the team. I like that, especially on the West Coast. It just means that he's creeping closer and closer. Yeah, I don't think Luke Casey is going to be ready this year, Joe. Unfortunately, I think definitely next year. Unless, things work out, you might see him in September, but I doubt it. All right, guys, going to the bottom of the fifth. Mets still lead 2-0. Again, they're kind of like upset at the fact that wasn't a foul ball. But no, it was fair. For sure. It bounced foul in foul territory, and then it went fair. Nobody touched it. So bottom of the fifth, Lindor is up. Mets lead 2-0.
The whole thing was strange. I wonder what was on Cruz's mind that he was so incensed coming into the dugout. It was Lindor facing Victor Orano, who came on to get the final out of the fourth. And he hits one past the mound. Wise to let it go, Orano, and Garcia throws out Lindor one away. So many balls deflected by pitchers lately.
Yeah.
2 of them by Corbin last night.
Corbin, yeah, that hurt Corbin too.
And one Drew Smith the other night who dislocated his finger. With the shifts these days, most of the time, this is probably better off letting it go.
Yeah, I never had the habit of reaching out with my hand ever. I always was a glove man.
Well, you had a particularly good glove.
But I've never had a reaction to that. Oh, you know what? It helps too if you get in a kind of a defensive fielding position. It helps. Not trying to reach for it with your hand.
There's Alonso. We went back and looked at the video of Pete's second plate appearance, and indeed on the 3-2 pitch, it glanced off his back knee, and it was a hit by pitch. So officially, it's the 6th time that Pete's been hit.
Oh, yeah, Angel, exactly, yeah. But I do see it like that, he's getting closer and closer. Not that he's going to be here in the end of June. I don't think I ever thought that. I think early July the latest. I mean, the earliest. But again, the Mets keep on winning. There's no really point of rushing him. If he comes back in August, great. He's going to have a healthy arm, a strong arm ready to go for the dog days of summer.
67 pitches.
And he should just had only one earned run. I mean, he rolled it a wild pitch, which made that second run earned.
Carl Edwards up in the Washington bullpen. Again, that should have been a pass ball, which should have made it an unearned run, and that might get changed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's going to catch it. Nice catch.
He was moving toward the line and then realized that ball was sinking.
Yeah, I would think McCann would probably have to, make sure that bone is all healed up, take a couple of swings. Look, if we do get Scherzer back at the timetable they said, like the 3rd or 4th week of June, I don't think you're going to have to worry about DeGrom, especially if we get McGill back in the next week and a half or so. No reason why we have to rush DeGrom back late June. For what reason? If you got Scherzer and McGill back. Most of your rotation will be intact with Walker, Peterson, and Carrasco. All right, that was a quick inning for the Mets going to the top of the 6th. Mets lead 2-0. Yeah, look, again, prospects, it depends because the Mets brought up Conforto in 2015, and he was a big part of this lineup going forward. Through the last part of the half part of the season, into the playoffs, into the World Series. I mean, our prospect Conforto, rookie, hit 2 home runs in the World Series game, right? So, I don't think, unless you're extremely desperate. Look, the Mets have no top pitching prospects that you could throw into this rotation this year. It's just not happening. Allen is not ready, so he's not going to be ready this year at all. So that doesn't make sense. So, but like, you know, is it possible that a guy like Beatty might come up and might be a part of this team in the playoff? You never know. Maybe, I doubt it. A Vientos, possibility. You know, maybe a Khalil Lee. You might need that extra outfield. It depends. Yeah, Angel, I heard that story about Miguel. So Miguel's on track. I think they're gonna give him another week just to get everything ready to go. Probably have a rehab start for sure. And he should be ready to go. I wouldn't be surprised if he's ready for the Padres series. And, you know, that's going to be a tough matchup. But, McGill with his demeanor on the mound, I'm not worried at all about that. But, I mean, like I said, you know, what's the point of rushing DeGrom back when you know you get McGill back? Scherzer should be back by the third to fourth week in June. Again, the middle to end of June. So, you know, you'll have him back. So 4/5 of your rotation is good. So, you know, having DeGrom rush back, I don't think it benefits the Mets at all. You know, why rush him back when, you know, there's no guarantee that he's going to be healthy because you rushed him? You know, let him have no issue at all. Remember, he's trying to change his wind up and everything as well. So he's changing his mechanics a little bit because that's what he thinks, and I guess the staff thinks that's the reason why he got that shoulder injury or that bone injury, because of his mechanics was a little off that caused him to maybe throw the ball a little differently. That's why he got that shoulder injury, so we'll see. So they're previewing the Dodgers series right now because, well, we play them tomorrow. So, all right, guys, so we're going to the top of the sixth. Lugo is on the mound, 2-0 Mets.
Seth Lugo on to pitch in the sixth inning. And so it's going to be the best two teams in the National League. The Mets and the Dodgers going head-to-head for 4 days.
I agree, Todd.
Here's the numbers for Seth Lugo, the Nissan numbers. 21st game for Seth already.
Last pitched on Saturday, a 1-2-3 inning to wrap up an 8-2 win. Franco is singled and grounded out. 1 for 2. And he lines one to left field. That should stay up for Canna. 1 out. For more on the Dodgers, let's check in with Steve.
Well, Gary, you talked about the offense. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, both legitimate MVP candidates so far this season. The top of the order has just been ridiculous. Trey Turner as well. He's on a 23-game hitting streak right now going into today. And Mookie Betts made some history this past month. He's the first player since Troy Tulowitzki in 2010 to have 12 home runs and score 30 runs in a single calendar month. You also mentioned the pitching, which has been elite, even with Clayton Kershaw on the IL. Buehler hasn't been his absolute best, but guys like Gonsolin and Anderson have been unbelievable. We'll probably see Gonsolin tomorrow night. The bullpen's been good as well. The one caveat there is Craig Kimbrell has been a little shaky. He's allowed a run in 5 of his last 7 outings, but he doesn't pitch that much. They don't play too many close games, so hasn't gotten into a great rhythm.
And they're doing that also without Blake Treinen in that bullpen. So, but they have so much depth they do up and down their roster.
And it's 3 night games the first 3 days there, folks, and I think it might be worth staying up and watching. I'm looking forward to the 4th day of that series.
I think the May for Mookie is interesting because of franchise-wise. 22 extra base hits, the previous record holder, Jackie Robinson. 12 home runs ties him with the previous record holder, Roy Campanella. That's pretty cool.
How in the heck could Boston let him go? In his prime,
They said, Corey, that was all about what they were willing to pay.
Yes, and in the third.
Luis Garcia had a base hit his last time up. Lugo spins one down, sticks 3-2.
And really,
Angel, yes, that's all McGill needs is just one game. Simulation game, yeah, most likely.
Alex Verdugo, who's paid any dividends.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they give him a rehab start and then just fly him out to San Diego, which he'll probably pitch in. Nice pitch.
Set him up with the curve, got him looking at a fastball. And Lugo has the second out. Let's check in with the studio. Gary Appelas, Game Break, brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Gary.
All right, Garrett, Padres, Cardinals in St. Louis. That's Nolan Arenado breaking 1-1 tie in the 7th inning, his 10th home run of the year. It came off Yu Darvish, a 2-run shot. Dakota Hudson threw 7 for the Cards. It's 3-1 St. Louis, Gary.
Paul Goldschmidt has a hit in that game, so Goldie's now hitting 23 straight games. They got Trey Turner 23 and Paul Goldschmidt 23.
And that means also for Goldschmidt 34 games, 7 games, consecutive games on base.
Brantley Adams had a base hit to right field this last time up. And Lugo picks off the outside corner at 96.
Boy, just had
Still looking sharp.
a quick look at Adams. He looks like he's just a retired catcher of the Giants, Ron MVP.
Posey.
Looks like Posey.
By the way, speaking of retired catchers, it may have passed everybody's notice, but Russell Martin
Diaz pitched Sunday night.
The last couple of years, but in his prime, what a
He
great
pitched in that
player.
10th inning,
Great
right?
player and a great story.
Adams floats one
That
to
might
shallow
drop.
center, and that's
Ah.
gonna fall for a base hit. So
Little blue
Adams
pit.
reaching for a slider and hitting it off the end of the bat, and he's got himself a 2-out hit.
Well, he gets full.
Wouldn't be bad to get Diaz a little bit of work in this game.
End of the bat.
Well, he don't have to pitch today, but I think Buck would like to get him in.
Those are the career numbers for Russell Martin, who just had great years with the Dodgers. And I don't know, he was an inspiring player.
He was an inspiring player, and from Montreal, he'll get a lot of athletes from there. And remembers down as a musician, as a busker down in
Charles from the Bahamas, once again, buddy. I appreciate it. Once again, guys, you're just tuning in. Please don't forget to hit on that like button. Let's get over 100 today. Working on trying to get to 150 today, 150 likes. But let's start off with 100 likes today during the stream for the Mets versus Nationals.
Settings gave up 3 hits. He walked 5, which matched his career high. Struck out 5, lowered his ERA to 3.63.
Should be out of the inning here. Yes, we are. Nice inning for Lugo. Going to the bottom of the 6th, guys. Mets lead 2-0. Nice inning by Lugo. We like to see that. Once again, guys, I do appreciate everybody tuning in today. We got 172 in the stream today. Again, not expecting, 200 plus. It is a Wednesday afternoon. People are at work, but I do appreciate all you guys hanging in there with me today. So let's just get that like button going. And it's not important just for when the live stream's going on. The likes also put it at the top of the YouTube list for recommended videos for the replay. Like, the big thing and the reason why you guys are so great is because not only do you stick around and increase the view time of the stream, but when you hit that like button and you get that like button over 100 to 150 or 200, it keep on recommended to people who watch sports on YouTube and content into baseball mostly, and the replays are extremely important because that's when you get the thousands of people that, like, on average I get between 22 to 2,700 replays after the stream is over, and that's because of you guys, because you hit on that like button. That's why I do appreciate it. Let's see. So how's everybody's Memorial Day? Was it good? Oh yeah, of course, guys. We definitely need bullpen help. That's a given. Even when May and Ottavino come back, I don't trust those guys. Ottavino just seems like in a big spot he just falls apart. May, I don't trust him. I don't think he's that good. We're definitely going to need bullpen help. But just think, guys, the people who are in contention are also going to need bullpen help. So the Mets aren't going to be the only ones. It's going to cost a little bit more prospect-wise or an extra player-wise on the big league roster to get things done. So that's why the Mets, they might have to strike a little bit more earlier than the deadline to get what they need, just so the price isn't astronomical, especially when there's competition for a certain pitcher or a player in general. Here we go, guys. Bottom of the 6th, Carl Edwards Jr. is for the Nationals. Mets lead 2-0.
A changeup now in his repertoire.
I tell you what, that dart truck is on top of it.
J.D. Davis, 1 for 2, singled to right and scored the Mets' first run of the 4th inning.
The last series in Washington, Edwards had an appearance there and called up, and the Mets touched him up.
That fastball out in the hands of Davis, and it's 1-1. Escobar and Guillermo to follow for the Mets in the 6th.
I like the way J.D. is swinging the bat of late. Guys, long legs for crying out loud.
Long legs, straight over the top. We always see Pete before he gets into the box, always kind of visualizes what he wants to do. Well, Edwards Jr. seems to do it on every pitch. Kind of looks off, closes his eyes, thinks about it, and then gets ready.
6'3", 170 pounds.
Small forward.
String B. Went to high school in Prosperity, South Carolina.
Well, no, South Park, it's not going to happen now, but during the trade deadline, for sure it will. Yeah, Todd, I know they're close to 500, but in their division, they're the 4th best team. And I don't think they're going to have what it takes pitching-wise to keep it going. I mean, they're just out hitting everybody at the moment.
That's all you're doing.
I'm going to grab a sweater next half.
You know, we talked
Well, it's an expiring contract for JD Martinez, so they can't get a lot back. But again, when there's competition for him, it might be definitely a decent prospect
in our 7th
for and Dominic Smith. I think you can get away with that for sure.
same booth together in LA.
And I'm not talking about a top 5 prospect. You might be talking about between like 10 and 15 type prospect. That's what I think.
We've done San Francisco.
Martinez is a free agent after this year, so you're getting a rental. All right, nice walk by JD. They don't need to slump bad. They just don't need to be anywhere near contention. And I don't. With their 3 teams are better than them in that division, it's gonna be very hard even to make a wild card spot.
What I love is the arm angle. He comes straight over the top.
No, Christian, that's true.
Anyone in game.
But I mean, if you look around the league, there's not a lot of teams, especially the contenders, that need a bat like JD Martinez. You know what I'm saying? So would the Red Sox rather get nothing for JD Martinez and lose him, or get something from the Mets from a rental?
Davis at first, Escobar at the plate with nobody out. And looking at Vaughn, that gets wiped out. Well, they had the full shit.
Almost hit Escobar with a fastball, by the way.
Edwards dissuaded it by coming up and in.
The ball had a little cut on it, so it was following him. Great thing about big league hitters, they get knocked down, and I don't know how they do it sometimes. They just put their nose right back in there, and they want to hit more than ever.
Most big league hitters, they usually find out who
Yeah,
didn't.
you're right.
Well, if they don't, often they don't stay big league. That's correct. There's a certain amount of courage it takes to play this game. Sometimes that could be unfathomable to those of us who've never faced the 95-mile-an-hour fastball heading toward our
Hey, see what I did. Thank you, buddy.
2.
I always said probably the one that was most fearful. And thank goodness I was a left-hand hitter. Well, it was right-hand hitter to face Nolan Ryan. With that fastball upstairs running in on him.
Chasing him.
And he had that yellow hammer that he used to drop on him, too.
Oh, nice pitch.
That's the first out.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, you know, Jason, I was just thinking about this when you typed that in the chat. You know, it's not only that the Mets, you know, can trade, and yes, there'll be competition, but they're also willing to take a bad contract to get the player they want as well. So, and that was a good point, Jason. I was thinking about that as well. You know, I don't know if there's going to be plenty of teams. I mean, the only other team I think can use JD Martinez is the Brewers. Like, I mean, the Dodgers, they have more than enough. I mean, who? Maybe the Cardinals, maybe. But I don't really see that. And there's not a lot of teams that can give a major league player on their roster like the Mets can, plus a prospect. And the one thing the Mets have that's a smoking gun for the Red Sox is a first baseman, and the Red Sox need a first baseman. And to give Dominic Smith, who is a major league player, who's a great defensive first baseman and possibly could be good offensively, plus a prospect, it's going to be hard for the Red Sox to turn that down.
It's at the head of the pack.
Yeah, we showed all his May numbers for Guillorme. 7 walks included in May.
I don't know about you, but I think Cano is helping us win more games. Sopak, I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate that support, buddy. Appreciate the kind words.
Edwards will get that call. It's 1-1.
True, Christian. No, you're right about that. But when you can get Dominic Smith, who has 3 more years left on his contract, and he's cheap, Chaim Bloom likes those type of players. And you can give him a top 10 to 15 prospects, they do that. Oh, it's a double play ball. Yep. Out of the inning, going to the top of the 7, guys. So, yeah, like I said, guys, you know, if you look at the teams that are contending right now, teams like the Angels, can they be a team that needs a DH? No, because they kind of they like to use that DH spot for Ohtani at times when he's not pitching. They also like to use it for Trout to get his legs off of the outfield for a little bit. So they don't really need a JD Martinez because it's going to block that DH spot for them. The only team that I think, and they talked about this on sports radio as well, is the Brewers. That's a team that you have to worry about. But the thing when it comes, now I'm not saying the Mets give up a player that is, that's in a last year of a contract. That's not helping the Red Sox. The Red Sox get 3 years of Dominic Smith at a very cheap rate, plus another prospect. I don't think much teams now with Chaim Bloom. Now, unless a team blows them out of the water for JD Martinez, which I doubt they're gonna do, I don't think any team is gonna give them multiple top prospects for a rental. I don't think so. Now, if possible. Now, again, I don't think the Mets should match that. I don't think the Mets should go overly aggressive to get JD Martinez because there's other guys out there, like I said, Josh Bell and other players like that the Mets could use at the DH spot. Yeah, but Christian, true, but I think they want. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, prospect. That's Again, I know Chaim Bloom's running that organization there, but I don't know. I honestly think, look, you can put Dom Smith at first base and then wait for your prospect to do something, or you can use Dom Smith as long as possible. And remember, Dom Smith can play left field in a short short left field as well with the Green Monster. So that's another thing. And then also, you can actually DH Dom Smith as well. So again, there's a lot of different options. There's just a lot of, we don't know what teams need at that point yet. So we'll have to wait and see. We got a month and 2 months until the deadline. So it's gonna take some time. So here we go, guys. Top of the 7th. Lugo was still in the game. Mets 2, Nationals nothing.
We had 2 innings in Colorado, so they're starting to change his usage a little bit.
That first inning was the best I've seen him all year long. Every pitch had a purpose.
Curveball hit out to left field, and Canna moving toward the line.
All right, that's 1 out.
1 out.
I don't play. It's a possibility.
Oh my goodness!
What are you wearing? Where did you get that? That's false advertising.
Keith Hernandez is wearing a Yale sweater.
Oh, you did? You bought yourself a sweater.
Bought? I'm a cheerleader.
Don't you? I think it's hot. It's awesome.
The fake bulldog.
Now, the Letterman sweater always is white with the blue with Y.
Oh boy!
I think they give those to the cheerleaders.
All right, quick 2 outs for Lugo. Yeah, Cassis is a stud for sure. He's projected to be up this year, but that doesn't mean he's going to be a good player either. So,
I think you should wear that on the plane.
No, I'm not wearing it. No, he's not going
hey, listen, honestly, how about this? Pretty good chance then the Bogarts might not return to the Red Sox, right? You know, there's been talk in Red Sox land about giving a big contract to Devers or giving it to Bogarts. It's either one. Hein Bloom's not going to do both.
I mean, if you're serious.
What happens if they say, all right, we're going to keep Devers, we're not going to keep Bogarts? Mauricio is on the table. That's an option as well. That would be something you give Mauricio and a very lower level prospect, and you're good to go. You could do that as well.
Cruz walked all 3 times up against Carrasco today. Throws a curveball.
All right, look like we're getting out of the inning here. And we are. Quick inning for Lugo. Nice 2 innings by Lugo going to the bottom of the 7th. Mets lead 2-0. Nice 2 innings by Lugo. Pretty good chance he won't be pitching the first game against the Dodgers tomorrow, but we needed them 2 innings from him for sure. Yeah, I don't want Nelson Cruz. I think he's done. Like I said, I think Josh Bell is an option for the Mets. Josh Bell and JD Martinez. You can look around the league. You know, there's a couple of guys, a Matt Reynolds type of guy that is Pittsburgh. You know, guys like that you have to look at. But again, we don't really, you know, there's some teams that might still think they're in contention as well. No, Angel, I'm not saying about Bogarts. I'm talking about still getting JD Martinez. You know, if you have to give up now, if you get, you know, would you put Mauricio in that deal? Just Mauricio and maybe another very lower level prospect for JD Martinez? I know he's a rental, but that could be the guy you put that can put you over the top offensively. So that's interesting to look at as well. Yeah, I don't want, you know, in the beginning of the year, I was thinking, you know, Nelson Cruz. Look, the Nationals got Nelson Cruz, not just to give protection for Soto, but they looked at him, hey, if he plays well, we can put him as a trade chip. The same reason why Josh Bell is going to be on the trade market, because he's going to get you prospects back, what the Nationals are looking for. Yeah, no, Manny, we're doing well, but you're not looking at doing well right now. You're looking of trying to beat the Dodgers in the playoffs, the Padres in the playoffs, the Brewers in the playoffs. You're looking, if you get to the World Series, might face the Yankees or the Astros, teams like that. That's what you have to look at. You know, I know people are like, oh, we're doing well. We're not looking at the division. Pretty good chance. I say there's about a 75% chance the Mets are going to win this, maybe even more, that they have a good chance of winning this division. You're trying to win a pennant. You got to go through the really good teams, and that's going to take more than what this team has right now. You can't go into the playoffs with this team currently restructured, even if DeGrom's back and Scherzer and everybody else is back. You still need a little bit more in this lineup, I think, because you're facing the best pitchers on an everyday basis in the postseason. And that's why you need that extra back. You still need that protection behind Pete Alonso. You just do. And again, I still think we need a lot of bullpen help as well. I think Christian just wrote that in the chat. So there's a lot of options that the Mets have to do. It's just a matter of how much I'm willing to give to get all what they need. So bottom of the 7 guys, Steve Cishek in the game for the Nationals. 2-0 Mets.
2 for 2, and is the only RBI in this game. Nito drove in a run with the base hit in the 4th. The second run scored on the play on an error, and that's been all the scoring. Mets have now thrown 19 consecutive scoreless innings. Shutout last night, shutout brewing tonight. Another hard hit ball by Nito, knocked down by Hernandez.
Yeah. There you go. Again, this is why you put Nito. This is why you put the ball in play, because it puts pressure on the defense. Prime example just now. Hernandez got a hot shot from Nito. He bobbled it. It bounced off his glove. Couldn't pick it up on time. And Nito got the hit. But what do you mean, who are you going to sit down? There's nobody that is actually putting a stranglehold on this Mets team for the DH. That's why you talk about Josh Bell. That's why you talk about JD Martinez. I'm not talking about a guy like, oh, go get Bogarts for shortstop. That doesn't make sense. You know, yeah, I can talk about, hey, let's go big and get Rafael Devers. But you got a third baseman. It's more of the DH spot that I'm looking at. I would sit down JD Davis, Dominic Smith, and Nick Plummer for JD Martinez in a heartbeat. You know, those are the guys you're not going to be playing on the field every day. You need a big bat in this DH spot. That's the whole point of a DH spot. Steve, predictions for the Mets road trip? I think they're going to go 6-4, but I would take 4-6 or 5-5.
He gets under this one to center, and straight Jordan calling for it. 1 out. Well, there's the road ahead, presented by your Tri-State.
Nino's play good.
Black dealers, Dodgers.
Yeah, look, Plummer's good right now. He's hit 2 home runs, but calm down about Nick Plummer, okay? You know, there's a reason why he hasn't made it over 7 years in the big leagues with the Cardinals. You know, wait until the league sees him a little bit and see if he adjusts. His big problem, 1 was injuries, and 2, he couldn't adjust after the pitchers adjusted to him. So let's go easy on Nick Plummer. Like all of a sudden he's the guy that is going to take care of this DH spot. Could he be? Sure. And now the Mets can focus on bullpen help big time. But again, you know, nobody has taken advantage of a DH spot as of yet. Plummer has in the short term, but we're talking bigger picture. Later in the year, not division, pennant, World Series. That's what you're looking at. The teams you need to beat in the postseason. Listen, who do you want in the postseason up in the big spot? Nick Plummer or JD Martinez? I mean, it's kind of an easy answer there. It's JD Martinez. All right, so runner in scoring position, less than 1 out. Marte out. This might drop. Yeah, it drops. 1st and 3rd. Soto misplayed that ball in the air. Soto has just checked out, man. I feel so bad for him.
Kind of circled around and didn't take the straight vector over there.
Well, David Martinez feeling a bit beleaguered right now. Midfield hit off the glove of Hernandez.
All right, 1st and 3rd, 1 out. All right, it's going to be a pitching change, so we're going to Kyle Finnegan is coming into the game for the Nationals. 1st and 3rd, excuse me, 1 out for the Mets. Bottom of the 7, 2-0 Mets. So, guys, yeah, again, when it comes to the West Coast, and listen, the Mets have a big enough lead where you can survive on a 4-6 West Coast trip. You could survive on a 5-5 West Coast trip. Because even if you go 4-6 on the West Coast, all right, you're not going to be happy. But what you're looking at is, can the Braves win 6 or 7 games in a row, or the Phillies? Even if they do that and the Mets go 5-6, they're only going to gain about 3 games. So you're still going to have a 7.5 to 8 game lead even after the West Coast trip. And now you're getting into the later part of June into July with a 7.5, 8 game lead. But there's so many guys when it comes to, like, look, right now, as of June 1st, the Mets clearly need a DH in their lineup. Nick Plummer, short term, doing well. He beat out Davis. He beat out Dominic Smith. That's why Plummer's up here. And Smith is not. A guy like that. Could the Mets look at a catcher more offensive oriented, like a Contreras? Maybe a Salvador Perez, if you can steal him away from the Royals? Maybe. But there's other guys that you could look, like I said, right now, DH spot and bullpen is what we're looking at right now. But in July, our bullpen, if Ottavino and May comes back and May and Ottavino find it, and all of a sudden our bullpen's really damn good, maybe the Mets won't look to get 2 bullpen arms. Maybe just 1. Maybe they're focused on getting a big bat at DH. Or Plummer is the guy that takes advantage of the DH spot. And the Mets only now need a bullpen arm. Well, now they might go all out for a bullpen arm. Josh Hader's off the table. The Brewers are doing well, so you're not looking at that. Angel, exactly. I was talking about that earlier. Everybody was ready to throw the gauntlet at the Mets for the West Coast trip, but you don't think the Padres, who are not playing well, the Angels, who lost 6 in a row, aren't saying, God damn, we got to face the Mets now? The Dodgers are a different story. You can take advantage of, you can beat the Dodgers, or you can have a really bad chance against the Dodgers. It's just is what it is at this point. All right, guys, so Lindor is up. First is third, 1 out, 2-0 Mets, bottom 7.
3 games with an RBI. He's got a runner at third with 1 out. Francisco's 1 for 3 today. And he pulls the swing on a high fastball. Ball 1.
He has had a lot of opportunities.
We got 200 in the stream right now, guys, for the later part of the game. Don't forget, if you're just turning in, hit on that like button, everybody. Mets lead 2-0 in the bottom of the second, threatening to score a little bit more insurance runs here for the rest of the bullpen to get it done. I'll take a sac fly.
Pretty good fly ball to get Needle home from third. I'd say not his best move. Mets have had just 6 hits today after 17 last night.
Look, I wouldn't say I'm necessarily scared about scared of the Dodgers, but with the Mets injured and their rotation in a little bit of shambles, you can worry about that series. Now, if Scherzer, McGill, and DeGrom were healthy, you probably feel really confident going into that series, wouldn't you? But at least we got Bassett going tomorrow, and I think that's a good thing for us. Oh, Lindor missed that pitch right down the middle. Yeah, doesn't have a lot of home runs, but he's getting those RBIs. 40 RBIs in 2 months. In a 6-month, baseball season, that's around 90 to 95 RBIs. That's a good season. Somebody brought an air horn. Yeah, Bauer's not coming back this year. I don't think Major League Baseball is going to allow it. But again, guys, like the Dodgers lost to the Pirates yesterday. They lost a series against the Pirates. They lost a series against the Phillies. And I think we can all agree we're better than the Pirates and we're better than the Phillies. So if the Pirates and the Phillies can beat them, the Mets can surely beat the Dodgers as well. Frankie needs to put the bat on the ball here. Staying alive.
Alonso next.
Okay, then what about the Phillies? You can't say the Pirates just have the Dodgers number. The Pirates are terrible.
Lean on his fastball. He's thrown it 73% of the time this year.
I'll be South Park. I'll be watching it at work. I might catch the first period at home, but the rest of the game I'll be watching it at work. Let's go Rangers, baby! Eastern Conference Finals. There you go. That's at least a run. That's a sac fly. There we go. Nice. Lindor and Piazza, only guy to hit 10-game RBI streak in Mets history. Him and Piazza. Nice hitting by Francisco Lindor. So you can say that about the Dodgers taking games off against the Pirates, but the Mets lost to the Mariners. So what did the Mets take the series off against the Mariners? It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. It just shows that the Dodgers are a beatable team, and the Mets put the ball in play a hell of a lot more than the Pirates do, and that's going to cause the pitchers some issue with the Dodgers. The Dodgers have not faced a team like the Mets yet, who don't strike out a lot and put the ball in play and put pressure on the defense. Nice year. 41, what is it, 43 RBIs, 42 RBIs on the season so far?
So Buck's got his bullpen set the way he wants for the last 2 innings.
All right, Pete, let's go. Alrighty, guys, we had at least one run from the sac fly by Lindor. 3-0 Mets going to the top of the 8th. It looks like, I didn't see who that was. It looked like Ottavino coming in, so we'll see how he does. Got to get him going in his bullpen as well. No, I don't play. Listen. Look, every team is beatable. We know that. But, again, you're making it seem like the Mets are not a good team. Like, we're going to LA to get, destroyed. Like, last year when the Mets went on that West Coast trip, I knew it wasn't going to go well. There's really no guarantee that the Dodgers are going to play, that are going to just beat up the Mets. For all we know, they're going to split the series. Both teams are extremely good. But the Dodgers beat you in ways and the Mets beat you in ways in two different separate ways. The Dodgers can beat you with power, no doubt about that. What scares me is Freddie Freeman because he's a Mets killer. But what I don't think people understand is that the Mets team are not the team that went to the West Coast in years past. They were a terrible situational hitting team. They were striking out all over the place. This team doesn't strike out at an alarming rate. The Mets lineup is very intuitive of making the pitcher work, getting the pitch count up. But no, I don't play. You're overlooking the Mets. I'm not overlooking the Dodgers, but you're making it seem like the Mets have no chance in this series. That doesn't make sense. Because where the Mets can really, and you've seen this with the Giants, you've seen this with other teams that the Mets face, even good teams the Mets face. What they do can really cause problems to the Dodgers. Like, the Dodgers did very good defensively, for sure. But you've seen good defensive team against the Mets mess up because the Mets continue to put balls in play. And what the Mets lineup is good at is making you work. Making the pitcher work. Making the pitch count go up. And that's the thing that I think people are overlooking. They're just looking on paper like, oh, Dodgers are going to win. So, well, if you got the Mets going to the World Series, then you're talking like you're overlooking the Mets, but you're not. So it's you're kind of contradicting yourself if you're picking the Mets to go to the World Series. But I'm not saying I'm not concerned about them. I say the Mets have a good chance of winning the series, and you're saying they don't. So let's see what Ottavino can do here. He needs a bounce-back performance for sure.
But he found out that the plane that the Mets are chartering to L.A. does not have TVs on board.
For a coast-to-coast trip, you gotta have TV.
Riding through the hole, and Bell greets Ottavino with a base hit. So Bell is in the best series by far of any Nat. That's his 6th hit of the 3 games. He's aboard to start the 8th.
But I didn't say I wasn't concerned. You keep on hearing something wrong. I am saying that the Mets do have a chance to win this series. I can't go into a series not confident. That doesn't make sense.
The fact that he probably hit that double down the left field line his last at bat made the Mets a little bit gun-shy.
Good, they should be, and the Mets should be as well. I don't think the Mets are going to go in there, pounding their chest just because they have a good year so far. The Mets are not thinking like that, especially with Buck Showalter behind them. But I can tell you this: Buck Showalter will outmanage any manager, and that's where we have the edge as well.
Audio at least. Steve, I can listen to the game.
He's going to get texted all night by his friends.
He's got the shoes on. The lucky 1994 shoes. Hernandez 0 for 10 in this.
And let's be honest, guys, Dave Roberts, isn't very a good in-game manager when it comes to the bullpen as well. So he's another guy, where I have confidence that Buck Showalter will outmanage Dave Roberts.
Now, does that mean I can't stream Better Call Saul on this one?
Well, if you downloaded it already, you're ready to go.
I have not. Oh, I have not.
Look, I think both teams are going to be ready to face each other. The 2 best teams in the National League. It's going to be a fun series.
Sleep.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Avino here. He hasn't pitched well over the last 2 weeks.
Because you want to get there tired.
And let's be honest, I don't play. That's a big problem, right? If you're facing a good team. Dave Roberts seems to always make the big mistakes when it comes to a big change in pitching in the bullpen or not. Well, see, he don't have to worry about double switching anymore, but the bullpen has been a big problem for Dave Roberts making the right choice. And Kimbrel is another problem, like you said. It's going to be an exciting series for sure. Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on. This freaking guy. Pissing me off.
And the tying run will come to bat with Mike Franco. So things getting a little dicey. The Nats have not scored a run.
Freaking out of Vino, man.
Consecutive innings now since the 6th inning on Monday night. But now they've got an opportunity down 3-0 in this game in the 8th. Nobody up behind Ottavino at the moment of the Mets bullpen.
Come on, you bum.
Great shot of the brain trust there in the dugout. Buck is always deadpan, emotionless.
Franco's 1 for 3 today, and he takes fastball strike. Franco 0 for 5 in his career against Ottavino. Franco has grounded into 12 double plays this year. That's tied the most in the league.
Oh, nice pitch.
Good slider by Adams, 0-2.
Here's a good idea. 0-2 pitch. He did this against Castellanos. He tried to throw a fastball by him. Don't throw a fastball in his spot. Bury the slider in the dirt. Don't throw it over the plate.
He starts getting into it once he gets a couple of folks on.
If he throws a fastball here, I'm going to Citi Field and punch him in his mouth.
It's kind of like he has to get a feel for how it's working on any particular day. How much it's breaking.
Thank you. Again, it's a pitch outside the zone. I don't care about that pitch. You just don't throw a strike in that spot. Let the hitter try to beat you in that spot. Now, if you want to try to go in with a fastball, fine. But you don't do that on 0-2 pitch.
Hernandez at first. 1-2 coming to Franco.
Ooh.
And he tried to hold the swing, and he stopped it
Oh.
in time.
Well, that wasn't a bad... I mean, that pitch wasn't even close, but...
Luis Garcia, left-hand hitter, waiting on deck.
Yeah, Epler kind of, got guys that, again,
your next one.
most teams get their bullpen at the trade deadline, a couple of guys, so
Make sure he just stays with slider here against Franco.
that's usually how it works.
Against Castellanos.
Nice pitch.
Slider, he strikes out Franco, and that's
There you
the
go.
first.
Never threw him a fastball after that 0-2 kick. 0-2 count.
Big out
Like
for
it.
Ottavino, one down in the eighth. Here's your answer.
Did not throw him a fastball after 0-2. I like that. Don't give in.
Against Franco. Right, left hip comes out open. Head's not in there. No chance.
So now Garcia, who was just called up today with Alcides Escobar going on the injured list with a hamstring. Garcia 1 for 3 in his first game of the season, and he
Nice
swings and
pitch.
misses and a cutter, 0-1.
Well, you know why Ottavino wears 0, because of the O in his name, so.
Garcia was hitting .314 in AAA with 8 home runs. Running it on his hands.
No. I think you're talking about Gary Sanchez? God, no. He's a butcher behind the plate. You can't have a good pitching staff and have a guy like Sanchez behind the plate. I don't want that at all. Again, I'd rather have a great defensive catcher behind the plate and then get my offense somewhere else.
0-2 coming. And the slider
Got him.
struck him out. He had no chance.
Woo.
And Garcia goes
Fooled
down.
him on those sliders.
Back-to-back kicks
Nice
for
pitching.
Ottavino.
Last 2 at bats by Ottavino.
He's got a window to get out of this
Woo.
inning.
Yeah, he just rushed him inside with all those pitches in the back door. That was supposed to be inside too. But just catches the
go.
outside corner and Garcia was in between.
And we're going to get a pinch hitter. Riley Adams due up. Right-hand hitter, but with
230 in the stream right now, guys. If you're just tuning in, don't forget to please hit on that like button. For the last couple of innings of the game,
1 for 7.
get the stream out to more baseball fans and more Mets fans. Let's go. Let's get that Mets over the hump, win the series, sweep the series, and sweep the homestand, guys.
Against Ottavino.
This is an important bat here. Ruiz is a good hitter.
And first pitch, slider in for a strike. Nothing more.
Ruiz might be 1 for 7, but he had 2 line drives and he also hit that ground ball. Like you made.
Fran Reyes is not a bad option, honestly. I know. I think that's a good call for a DH as well.
Monday night.
And the Mets have a good relationship when it comes to GMs.
Bell led off the inning with a
They
single.
work well together when it comes to trades, so that's a good option.
First with 2 out. And Ruiz grounds one into the
Could be out of the inning
Here
here.
comes Guillorme.
All right.
Adam Ottavino into and out of trouble at the top of the 8th.
Nice. So Ottavino scared us a little bit, but got out of the inning. Slider was nasty. He got away from that fastball a little bit. Oh yeah, I said the Indians, right? You know, guys know what I mean. They've been the Indians for what, 90 years, 100 years? It's hard to say the Guardians. The Wahoos. There you go. Feel better? All right, so Mets at least going to have at least a 3-run lead. I don't mind insurance runs. I always like insurance runs. Can't complain there. But I do like to see Diaz come in just to get it, because he hasn't pitched since Sunday. So I would like to see him come in and get a couple of get an in before the West Coast trip. I don't want him to have three days off before the West Coast trip, and you never know if you're going to use them, depending on the score of the game as well. Yeah, I don't call them the Redskins anymore. I'm so used to the Washington football team now. I worry about that, but yeah, with the Commanders now and the Guardians now, it's like, come on, like it's a team name. I mean, whatever, everybody has their reasoning. So, again, I probably slip up and say the Indians 100 times. Robert, I don't know. I guess if McGill comes back and he's okay, I think they won't yet. So we'll see. Yeah, I know. That's what people calling it, the short with Commanders, the commies. Like, So I guess it's okay to call a team of commies or nickname the commies, and then instead of the Redskins, but whatever. But once again, guys, the Mets got a 3-0 lead going to the bottom of the 8th. Can the Mets get a couple more insurance runs? If not, Diaz will be coming into the game, sounding the trumpets, and hopefully getting another save under his belt. Getting that see, I just said Indians again. Jesus Christ. Getting a little bit of getting an in before he gets to the West Coast trip. And I think that's important because you never know. You might not even use him. If there's blowouts either way or there's a couple of run lead that's over 3 runs, then, he might not be pitching. So, but maybe Diaz will come in no matter what. Save situation or not. We'll see. All right, guys. So, Jordan Weems is in for the Nationals. Bottom of the 8th. Mets lead 3-0.
Drafted as a catcher, played that position, but now he's been in the big leagues with Oakland, Arizona, and now with the Nationals.
Yeah, Roberto. It's on ESPN, I believe, or TNT, whatever channel they're showing it on, but they're definitely on it.
The guys who used to be catchers like Jason Mott, Kenley Jansen, you can just see it in their delivery. Mark Campbell leads off in the home 8th inning. And this is up and away, ball 1. Weems worked a 1-2-3 inning last night with a couple of strikeouts. 6th pitcher of the day for the Nats.
Oh yeah, South Park. It's 100 times better than the 15 team. I mean, we had Eric Campbell cleaning up the first half of the year. I mean, so yeah.
The Nats are scheduled at 9-1-2. Strange, Gordon, Hernandez.
So they're already much better than the 15 team.
That's last night notched their 8th shutout victory of the year.
Diaz is warming up, so I think Diaz is coming in no matter what, save situation or not. I agree, Spin Max. Excuse me.
Shutouts was a no-hitter. And Diaz put the finishing touches on. That's probably the most dominant game he's pitched all year. That close of the no-hitter against the Phillies.
10 pitches.
So,
Yeah, Chase Elliott can get hit by a car and I wouldn't feel bad. That's how much I don't like him. I know he's a hard-nosed player, but he was 230. We all knew we overran that bag. The hurt Tejada. We all know that.
Escobar to follow for the Mets in the home 8th. Each team with 6 hits today. That's a strike 3-2.
Yeah, Christian, they're bad. And you know what? The same thing when I say about the Yankees or teams that haven't faced a lot of teams. You got to beat the teams on your schedule. You have to beat up on the bad teams. That's how you win divisions.
Weems. Georgia native. Moving from behind the plate to on the mound. Sharply hit with right at Hernandez. It came up for him. And there's one out. So Canada's retired. One down in the home 8th.
Good, I like that.
With a single and a walk. 1 for 2. See the Reds won at Fenway last night. Luis Castillo pitched a gem. They won 2-1. It was the first win for Cincinnati in Boston since Game 7 of the 1975 World Series.
How can that be? I mean, I know they don't go there, but very often.
I think they've made 2 or 3 trips to Fenway since, and they got swept each time.
Joe Morgan got the game-winning hit in that.
Yeah, exactly, Adam.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Syndergaard, it was Sean Estes with Roger Clemens who couldn't hit him. Like, what's up with the Mets pitchers who we need to hit somebody and we can't do it?
A lot of things that should have happened in that series.
Yeah, there's really any defense in the Western Conference.
Game in that series, 170 something pitches, 160 something.
The Western Conference in hockey reminds me of the American League when the DH was only in the American League, where there was just offense all over the place and defense or pitching was not that good. And now, like in the national, like in the Eastern Conference, always seemed like to be the defensive conference.
These Nationals are going to Cincinnati after this series, and the Reds are playing pretty well now.
They have.
I mean, considering they start with 3-22.
RM, I think you might see him at the Padres series. I think he's almost ready to go.
They might get out of last place.
There you go, Christian.
They have the Cubs. 1-2 coming. And JD
Oh, yeah.
one the other way
There we
for a
go.
base hit. Chase toward the gap.
All right, JD.
He cuts it off nicely, and JD's on base for the third time.
This is why I like JD Davis. I've said it from the beginning.
Davis, both hits to right field.
From the beginning of the season.
That stroke going.
He's a guy that definitely can hit the ball the other way. If he starts just hitting the ball the other way,
Spot on when he
he's a guy that could be a good part of this team. I like him so much more than Dominic Smith. Yeah, he'll get a rehab start. He's staying in New York anyway. I don't think he's traveling with the team to the West Coast. So I think he'll get a start sometime probably at the end of the week and then might be ready for the Padres series or maybe even the Angels series.
Here's Escobar is 0 for 3. We're talking about the Central. Milwaukee's playing great right now, although they lost to the Cubs last night. Cardinals trying to keep up with them, and those other three teams. It's going to be a race to the bottom.
Pirates are playing better than you thought they would.
Well, they beat the Dodgers 2 days in a row. 5 out of 6 this year.
ahead of the Cubs.
Yeah, everybody's giving a lot of credit to the Brewers, but my God, have you seen that division?
Slowly hits.
Well, it's definitely not going to be a double play.
Shovel it to first
2
for the
outs.
second out. So you had the big hit for the
Yeah, it's not a good division at all. I mean, not saying much about the NL East. They're not that good either, but I mean, you got a Reds team that probably can lose 100 games. The Pirates are probably going to lose 90. Again, the Cubs are not any good. They'll probably go be a 500 team, maybe. So, the Brewers have played a lot of NL Central this year. Yeah, I'm happy for the Reds. That was kind of embarrassing, 3-22. My God.
Yeah.
James Fenimore Cooper.
There you go. A leather stocking.
Hiawatha.
Yeah, you see, Stroman's still talking his nonsense. Hey, my buddy Anthony with Mr. Met, getting some airtime.
On his way.
He works with the Mets Party Patrol. He's always with Mr. Met, so he's a cool guy, Anthony.
Today.
Have you guys seen the closer for Pittsburgh pitch, David Bednar?
No.
Oh, he is about, I don't know, 6'4".
Yeah, Joe, Braves will win. They can win. That's fine. But if the Mets win, it really does not matter, honestly. So,
Yeah, and just throws smoke.
oh yeah, we're going to third base there. Wild pitch.
Pitch of the day for the Nats. And that gets Davis over to third with 2 out.
Well, Adam, the difference when it comes to the division, people thought the Phillies were going to be better. People thought the Braves were going to be better. People didn't think the Pirates, Reds, or Cubs are going to be good at all. So, that was always a 2-team race in the Central with the Cardinals and the Brewers. The Phillies and the Braves, I don't think the Phillies are good at all.
Phillies have lost 5.
The Braves, I do feel like, are going to be a team that's going to go make a run for sure. Because that's just, it seems like they're that type of team that can make a run for sure.
Wow.
But the Central is much worse than the NL East. Not much better, but they're better than the NL East.
Too low. 3-1. I mean, wasn't that one of their better
Well, the reason why I think Miami's better, and people don't give Miami a lot of credit, their pitching staff is one of the best in the game. 1 through 5 in their rotation is pretty damn good, and their bullpen's pretty good as well. Offensively, they could be a hit or miss,
Yes, they do.
but pitching wise, they're very good.
Between their defense and their bullpen every night.
See if we can get a 2-out RBI here to give a little bit of insurance for the Mets here, going to the ninth.
The Mets here, they find a way to win every night.
Mets are trying to sweep a homestand of 6 games or more for the first time since 2015.
How about that, guys?
And there's ball 4.
The Mets
Walks for the 3rd time today.
have not had a 6-game sweep of a homestand since 2015.
Bat in the Mets lineup today will come up. That would be Tomas Nino, who's already got 3 hits. Jim Hickey's going to head out to the mound to talk.
I'm always worried about Miami. They always find a way to be a pain in the ass. Joe, the reason why you're not worried about Miami is because we haven't faced them yet. Now, I'm not worried about them catching us in the division, but they always find a way to beat the Mets. They always been a pain in the ass.
Gary, I've just been informed that Marcano is a Spanish name. Tucapita is a coastal town in Venezuela. Coastal Venezuela. Really? I've just been informed. But my good friend, Mr. Diaz, in Tampa.
Okay, so is Tucapita from the town of Tucapita?
Well, you're going to, we're going to find out.
Is it like Tucaipita?
He is from Tucapita.
Well, South Park, he would, but he has to have enough at-bats, which I think he'll get.
Thank you very much, Mr. Diaz.
So no matter what, guys, Mets keep it at 3 or get insurance runs, Diaz is coming in no matter what. Nito has had a nice game. Let's even get a 2-out RBI here. Nito, 3 for 3 on the day.
Here's Nino, 1st and 3rd and 2 out. And Tomas
Oh, yeah. Oh, drop. Yes. Oh, it went past the left fielder. Go, go, go. That's 2 runs. Go. 4, 5. Yes. Boom. Let's go. First ever 4-hit game by Nito. All right, Tomas. 5-0 Mets. There's our insurance. Let's go. Gotta get that 7-line shirt, right? Not Shea anymore, but rock like Shea. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go.
Even though he's played some entire series, and Yadiel Hernandez just misplays his ball terribly.
It's the 2nd time today Nito's hit a ball that an outfielder has misplayed. Gordon made an error on his base hit in the 4th and brought in an extra run, and now Hernandez flopping to the turf.
The Mets bullpen coach is Craig Jorgensen.
As well. Josh Rogers coming in, called to the bullpen.
All right, another bullpen change. Nimmo coming up, 5-0 Mets in the 8th. Committee, I think Diaz is still coming in the game. I think they want to get him work. But what an awesome game by Tomas Nito. Look, he deserves it because, he's been the backup for so long. And it's just nice that he's getting a lot more playing time because of the McCann injury. Nice to see. Again, Nito's one of those guys that, he's one of the longest tenure Mets, position player-wise, So, besides DeGrom, he's one of the longest tenure Mets. So, it's nice to see Nito getting the job done. RM, see, that's why I don't want to... See, the problem is, it will be the 3rd straight day that Diaz hasn't pitched. I don't want Diaz going on the West Coast trip cold if we need him in Game 1. That worries me. He's better when he pitches more. That's what I worry about. Yeah, you know what? Listen, it's going to be it's probably going to be one of the best series of the year. I don't think any team is going to dominate the series. I doubt that very much. I mean, if one team dominates the series, I would be shocked. I think it's going to be an evenly matched game. I think the Dodgers have the pitching matchups in their favor for sure. Again, offensively, the Dodgers and the Mets are so different offensively, so it could go either way. The Dodgers bullpen is better than the Mets, but again, the Mets offense finds ways to get the job done. They're never out of a game, so that's why I think the Mets do have a really good chance to find a way to beat this Dodger team. I wish they were all extreme 100% healthy. It would have been a really better series, but we'll see. My Italian cheese shares. I like that one. That should be a T-shirt. Guys, if you haven't checked my Twitter account or checked the community page, that I'm gonna put up. I'm thinking about making a T-shirt about Nick Plummer. I forgot what the hell it was. Yeah, I did a little bit of. I'm working about with getting a couple of merchandise going in a little while. Probably in the next month or so. So hopefully you guys check it out if you want to get a T-shirt. All right, guys. So 5-0 Mets. Josh Rogers in the game for the Nationals. Nimmo hits one to left field. Looks like a can of corn. And the inning is over. So we're going to the top of the ninth. Diaz is coming in for the Mets. 5-0 Mets. So yeah, so I have 2 T-shirts that I'm thinking about. It's a black T-shirt with blue and orange lettering with Plummer's face with my logo on the hat because I can't put the Mets logo obviously because it's copyrighted. But I'm going to see if you guys can see it. Let me just show you. Looks like that. Here we go. Looks like that. You guys probably can't see it, but I'm going to post it on my channel page so you can take a look at it. I got 2 different ones. It says Clogged Pipes, ? Call Nick Plummer. And on the bottom it has LFGM. And it has my logo, YouTube channel. And then the other one is Plumber Time with MC Hammer body with the face of Nick Plummer. So it looks like that. I don't know if you guys can see it that well, but it looks like that. So I'm actually going to make a couple of shirts, not a lot, maybe 3 or 4 of them, and I'll post the website up for you guys on the community page if you want to get a shirt. Again, I'm trying to look, I'm not trying to make nobody broke here, so depending on how much it's going to cost per shirt, I'll see I would think around between $23 and $25 for a shirt, which is, the going rate for shirts at a custom. So that's what I'm going to work on. Going to make a couple more shirts. I don't know if people want a shirt with my logo, just the logo, and maybe a LFGM on the bottom of it as well. My channel logo. We'll see about that. I'm thinking about doing a hat with my logo on there as well. Thinking about a couple of things. Working on a website now to get it together. So hopefully you guys will be having fun and like the shirts and the merchandise that I put up there. And if you like them, you can buy them. It's all up to you guys. So we're going to the top of the ninth, guys. Mets lead 5-0. Got 2 more insurance runs by Tomas Nido. All right. Edwin Diaz is in the game, sounding the trumpets. Let's go. Let's go.
Despite the Mets adding 2 runs
Oh, yeah.
in the 8th inning, Edwin Diaz will get the call in the 9th.
Giving him a little bit of work. Sound the trumpets.
Gets ahead 0-1.
Mark Hanna Corn, I like that one too. Brad with this with the names going, I like it.
Last saw him on Sunday night when he pitched a gem of a 10th inning.
Yeah, Angel, you're right. Thanks for fact checking my butt. You haven't lost more than 2 straight. That's a great. I said 3 straight. I said that.
His play in music to me feels like gladiator music with a Spanish flair.
Woo, nice pitch. I tell you, Mets make the playoffs and Diaz is still performing the way he's doing. Having that song come on in the 9th is going to be crazy at Citi Field.
And of course, if you buck Showalter, you run Diaz in here because he was all warmed up. But you don't want him to have a long inning on the precipice of a 4-game series against the Dodgers starting tomorrow night. That's line right.
1 out.
He plucks it for the first down.
Yeah, I'm glad for Nito too. Spin max for sure.
Well. One out and nobody on now. Cesar Hernandez Hernandez 0 for 4 today.
Yep, he did on a sac fly at him.
Diaz was away at 99.
Look, we already know that it's going to happen. We know the history about Diaz, and we'll talk about this after the game's over. I'll talk a little bit about Diaz.
They have thrown 20 consecutive scoreless innings.
That was so annoying during the 2019 season. Oh my god. I went to Nationals Park a lot in that season. I couldn't stand that damn song. It was very contagious. You know, everybody loved it. But, you know, if you're not a fan of that team, it's like, oh my god, can you stop already? Exactly, Andrew. You can't have them not work for 3 days, and then if the Mets get into a save situation tomorrow, he's gonna not be in the game for 4 days. That worries me. He's so much better when he pitches a lot more. Nice pitch. Nice pitch. So easy. Look, clearly Diaz is a different pitcher. He's just confident now in his pitching. Doesn't get flustered if he gives up a hit. He's just confident now. And that slider all year has been just absolutely nasty. Look, as of right now, he's that pitcher that we thought we were gonna get, that closer thought we were gonna get from the Mariners. That's who we thought we were gonna get the way he's pitching right now.
1 for 10 in this series. He takes a fastball for a strike. Soto has 2 home runs against Diaz and 7 career at bats. 1 this year. Just off the corner, a ball strike.
Brooms. God, I'm so mad I can't live stream during the first game of the Dodger series. I'm so mad about that. Strike 2. Let's go. Get up. Let's go. Put it in the books. Yes. 6-game winning streak. Sweep the series from the Nationals. Sweep the series from the Phillies. Sweep the homestand. Could not ask for anything more for the Mets before a West Coast trip. 6-game winning streak going on the West Coast trip. The Mets are scorching hot. Not only offensively, but let's be honest, guys. Our pitching staff, our rotation for the most part, have been pitching extremely well. Again, not against really good teams. But the best thing about this team is that they continue to put pressure on the opposing team defensively. And that's exactly what I think the Mets are going to do and how they're going to be successful going to the West Coast. 18 games over 500. 35-17 on the season. At the moment, 11 games up until we'll see what the Braves do later in the day. But the Mets got to come out. I'm glad that Chris Bassett is pitching tomorrow. I think you need a veteran on the mound tomorrow. It's going to be very hectic tomorrow. It's going to be extremely crazy tomorrow for sure. You know, 2 best teams in the NL. Exactly what. Look. When was the last time the Mets had one of the best records in the National League? It's been a long time. So, great to see what the Mets can do. Diaz mowed down the Nationals 1-2-3. It was nice. You gave him about 16-17 pitches. Get him, warmed up a little bit. You can't have him going into a West Coast trip not pitching for 4 days. It's not very smart. Diaz pitches better when he pitches on a consistent basis. Even though it's one inning, he needs consistency. So, first place, 35-17, 6-game homestand, 6 wins, sweeping the homestand. The Mets have not swept the homestand since, guess what, 2015. Carrasco didn't pitch great, but what he did, when he had to bear down and make a pitch, he did it. Big double plays in the game, big outs in the game, big strikeouts in the game. Didn't get the length that you probably wanted from Carrasco, but at the end of the day, guys, Carrasco still, in a close game, kept the Nationals off the game, or off the board, and that's exactly what you wanted to do. Robert, we do play the Dodgers next 4 games. It's going to be a great series. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a fun series. Again, I doubt anybody is going to dominate the series. I think both teams are just too good. I would be shocked if one team dominates the series. I will not be shocked if the teams split the series. I'm expecting that. As I said earlier in the stream, if you're just tuning in now or came in later in the stream, obviously most of you guys know I work overnight, so it's hard for me to do a live stream during a West Coast game. I'm probably not going to be able to do the first 3 games of the series. Sucks. So, unfortunately, I work, so it's hard to do. I'm going to be doing a Mets Talk live a few hours before the game, like around 5, 6 o'clock. To preview the Dodger Mets series and also talk about, whatever we need to talk about the Mets. Because I can't do the live streams during the game, but I will be doing it on Sunday, the last game of the series at 4 o'clock. So I will be doing that game. But I will be doing Mets Talk live around 5 or 6 o'clock. You guys will see the stream pop up, so make sure you hit that notification button so you get notified when I put up a live stream. I will be doing a Mets Talk live tomorrow, previewing the West Coast trip and the Dodgers series. And also, I'm probably going to do a pre-game a few hours before each of the Dodger games, since I can't do live streams during the game. So, once again, guys, Mets sweep the homestand, sweep the Nats, sweep the Phillies. 6-game winning streak going into the West Coast trip. You couldn't ask for anything more. So, one thing that I wanted to say about Edwin Diaz. The one thing about Edwin Diaz, the biggest thing that Met fans always were concerned about, and it always happened to be on the West Coast. 2019, Diaz blowing saves on the West Coast. Last year, blowing games on the West Coast. It seems like Diaz hasn't got over that hump yet. Diaz has been awesome this year. I want to see Diaz on this West Coast trip, specifically at Dodger Stadium. If he has opportunities to save games or come in and tie games and not blow it and pitch well, I think that's when he officially got over the hump, even though he's been great this year. So, man, I can't wait to see this series. I will be watching a lot of it from work, but I definitely will enjoy this series. So once again, guys, Mets win 5-0. Mets dominated the series against the Nationals, which, let's be honest, we all expected. Did we expect a sweep? Some people did, but I think most of us would have been okay with taking 2 out of 3. But after we swept the Phillies, I think everybody wanted 6 in a row. We got it. So, once again, guys, Mets are going on a 10-game West Coast trip, 4 against the Dodgers, 3 against the Padres, and 3 against the Angels. And once again, guys, the 7-Line Army is going to Anaheim during the National Series on the Saturday game is when the 7-Line outing is happening. So a lot of my people are going to be out there rooting the Mets on. With the 7-Line, they're going to have the blue shirts on. It's orange and blue county, which, is always a theme of the shirt, orange and blue county. So it will be a fun time in that series. But let's get through the Dodgers and Padres first. Up first for the Mets, Dodgers 4-game set. Again, I'll be happy with a split. Let's see what our hot Mets can do. 35 wins on the season to 17 losses. So once again, guys, Have a good rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your night. Met fans, you're extremely happy right now. If you're a Rangers fan, let's kick the Lightning's ass tonight in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Have a good night, everybody. As always, Met fans, let's go Mets. Have a good night, guys.